Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Things are heating up again between the U.S. and Iran.
Attacks are again shaking the Middle East today. This comes after the United States claimed that Iran smashed a drone into an Apache attack helicopter, causing it to crash off the coast of Oman. Now, this morning, the U.S. military had launched strikes across southern Iran. Iranian state media announced that there had been blasts in Qeshm Island near Bandar Abbas and other sites in the country near the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow mouth of the Persian Gulf that Iran has maintained a chokehold over for months now, disrupting global energy supplies.
Correspondent Jonathan Gambrell says Jordan reports shooting down 5 incoming missiles. Among the results from yesterday's primaries in 4 states, in Maine, Graham Plattner is a Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate. He'll face Republican incumbent Susan Collins in the general election. South Carolina, Republican gubernatorial candidate State Attorney General Alan Wilson and Lieutenant Governor Pamela Yvette advanced to a Republican runoff. And it looks like Republican Steve Hilton will face Democrat Javier Becerra in the California governor's race. From Canada, it's the story of the airline pilot who wasn't.
Jeffrey Wall operated as an airline captain for more than 900 flights between 2009 and last year. But Deputy Police Chief Nick Milinovich says Wall did not have a license to fly large commercial passenger planes. Wall is accused of using fraudulent documents to pass as a pilot. Air Canada claims safety was not compromised, and Wall was removed once it was learned he was not properly licensed. Police say he made more than $2 million as a pilot. I'm Ed Donahue.
On Wall Street, the Dow futures down 360 points. NASDAQ futures off 355. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Maybe this is you too. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven you can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted. It works. It's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
Afghanistan is accusing Pakistan of launching new airstrikes, killing at least 13 people, wounding 14 others.
A tribal elder and a local journalist from Khost told the BBC that there were explosions in the middle of the night when 2 civilian houses were hit in Spera district. They said initial reports suggested that 8 people were killed and 2 others injured. Another local journalist from Kunar said that bombing there had killed 1 child. The Afghan Taliban spokesman shared graphic images of the children he says were killed by Pakistan. The relationship between the 2 countries has dramatically deteriorated over the last 8 months. Pakistan has previously launched air attacks on Afghanistan, saying it is targeting infrastructure that supports terrorists. But on this occasion, it's yet to comment. The Afghan Taliban have always denied they harbour these groups.
And that is BBC correspondent Caroline Davis reporting. News and analysis at townhall.com. Sweden is set to ban cell phones in schools.
It will happen in the next academic year as part of a broad reversal on the use of screens in classrooms. The Swedish center-right coalition government is prioritizing more reading time and less screen time, particularly among preschool students, by favoring books and other traditional learning tools. Sweden's plans are part of a broader shift and an international digital reckoning against smartphones. Keith Peters reporting.
Hollywood directors have reached a 4-year tentative contract agreement with studios and streaming services. The Directors Guild of America and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers struck the deal after 4 weeks of talks. Similar 4-year deals have been ratified recently by unions representing writers and actors. This agreement adds to the likelihood of long-term labor peace in Hollywood. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
A groundbreaking new study shows that there is a safe and inexpensive potential cancer treatment, and it's a drug that many of us already know about, ivermectin. This new study shows that individuals who took ivermectin, the parasite-fighting medication that gained fame during the COVID pandemic, along with the drug mebendazole, saw remarkable results in their battles with cancer. These incredibly promising results have many Americans wondering where they can obtain U.S.-made ivermectin and mebendazole. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from Wellness Company doctors all the time on this network, and you know that their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company is making 100% American-made ivermectin and mebendazole available at an incredibly affordable price point. Say no to Big Pharma's greed and no to Big Pharma's poisons, and say yes to a company that you can trust to bring you safe, affordable, and effective treatments. If you or someone you love is interested in trying ivermectin and mebendazole, then I urge you to go to twc.health/Godzilla today and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use the promo code Godzilla to save 10%.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
This meeting with China and President Trump, the stakes couldn't be higher.
Listen, China's not our friend. They've been stealing our technology. They've been stealing the AI, responsible for the COVID. Let's be very, very careful about giving stuff to China.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
It's the top news of the day.
China wants the oil from Iran.
They want to make a deal that's good for them and not piss us off too much.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on 2 huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Happy Wednesday morning, hump day, listening family. This is the John Fredericks Media Network. I'm Dan Hobgood. Time for a look at weather and sports. We'll start, as we always do, with where I am in the capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia. Going to have a high today of 88 with intermittent storms. A low tonight of 70, humid and stormy. Right now, the temperature is 72 degrees. Harrisburg shuts out the Squirrels at Carmax Park last night. They'll face off again beginning at 7:05 tonight. Moving on to the nation's capital. The Nats were winners against the Giants on the West Coast yesterday. They'll square off again beginning at 3:45 this afternoon. Similar temperatures for D.C. to Richmond. A high of 87, intermittent storms. A low tonight of 70, humid and stormy. Right now the temperature is 71 degrees. Well, Atlanta, the White Sox outpaced the Braves yesterday 6-5. Maybe the Pirates need to figure out what the White Sox secret is. 7:40 first pitch tonight. A high in Atlanta of 87, a low of 69. Right now the temperature is 72 degrees in Georgia. Nashville, you're looking at a very, very hot high of 94. At least it'll be mostly cloudy. Low of 72 and humid. Right now the temperature is 71 degrees in Middle Tennessee. Well, Philadelphia, the Jays overpowered the Phils yesterday in Canada, 3-2. First pitch for the game tonight will be 7:07. A high in the city of brotherly love in the meantime of 86 with storms. A low of 72 with storms tonight. Right now the temperature is 69 degrees. Morgantown, everybody's getting all excited about the trip to Omaha for West Virginia baseball, slated to play Troy at 2 p.m. on Friday afternoon. High today in Morgantown of 82 degrees, also kind of stormy. A low of 70, still stormy. Right now the temperature in By God, West Virginia, 72 degrees. All right, Yinzers, well, high today of 89 with storms, a low of 72 with storms. Right now the temperature is 74 degrees. And might as well rename the Pirates the Pittsburgh Megamaids because they've gone from suck to, well, you get it. Lost to the Dodgers 12-3 last night. They'll square off again at 6:40 unless the Pirates forfeit in the meantime. And Carolina ties the Stanley Cup final at 2 games apiece as the Hurricanes win 5-3 over the Knights in Vegas yesterday. Bringing you today's Weather and Sports Update is the Godzilla Wins radio show for the best insight, analysis, and picks. Watch and listen to Godzilla Wins Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Plus, to get John's daily sports picks, go to GodzillaWins.com. Once again, that's GodzillaWins.com. This has been Dan Hobgood for the John Fredericks Media Network. Outside the Box with the Ox is next, followed by The John Fredericks Show. Stay tuned, everyone.
CNN's Manu Raju walking and talking with House Speaker Mike Johnson about the trickling in of Democrat votes over a week, putting them ahead now in California's governor and LA mayoral primaries.
The president keeps saying that there's election fraud in the California mayoral race. What evidence is there to prove that?
You tell me, Manu. From a story in The Guardian, quote, no credible evidence of voter fraud has emerged in California. Again, the media watchdogs wait for their phones to ring with some guy offering a briefcase containing all the names and schemes being used to manipulate elections.
Just follow the money.
Because that's so much easier than to actually do the work.
Bernstein, are you sure on this story?
Absolutely.
Woodward?
I'm sure.
I'm not. Get another source.
And when they do decide to make a call, it's to the people in charge of counting the votes in the first place. And they take their word as gospel when they say,
nothing to see here.
So in summary, starting with the 2008 months-long recount in Minnesota, overturning Republican Senator Norm Coleman's win over second-rate comedian Al Franken, ushering in the tie-breaking vote to pass Obamacare without a single Republican vote, all the way to last week's California primary, Republicans win. Democrats quantify how many votes they need to overturn. If it's doable, as the hours and days elapse after the deadline for the final ballots to be cast, gradually the Democrat gains ground until eventually showing more votes than the Republican. Every time. So thinking outside the box, when it comes to election fraud, Speaker Mike Johnson had it right when he said,
you tell me, Manu.
Here outside the box with the Ox in the Eastern Time Zone and now in West Virginia on the John Fredericks Media Network.
John Fredericks.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild.
They want to have every single thing that you don't want. Raise taxes, men and women's sports. They're going to open up their border.
Trump hits the speed dial.
Thank you for calling in on such short notice.
You came first, John.
Wake up with the John Fredericks Show weekday morning, 6 Eastern, 5 Central on JFMN.TV, the massive JFred radio network, and all across the socials.
You came first, John. Thank you very much, and you do a great job.
Right now, download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play and get the entire Mountaineer sports world in the palm of your hand. Right now, get notified when new stories drop about your favorite Mountaineers teams and athletes. Download the WV Sports Nation app right now. Get updates on next level Mountaineers like Weatherholt and Joe Mazzulla. All that and more right in your pocket right now. Download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Download the app right now.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, Just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who always says to lace them up and lace them tight, John Fredericks.
All right, now, the riff. From General Keane, 10 to 14 days to return to military operations. That's the subject of the riff. So I'll ask, is now the time for one last kinetic military bombing assault on the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps regime in Iran? Now, we know that President Trump prefers diplomacy and is trying to complete an Iranian surrender deal. But the news today that the president is blaming Iran for shooting down the U.S. Apache helicopter over the Strait of Hormuz.
John, I think we're good to go.
Okay, great to have you with us. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network, and I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America. Thanks for being with us on this Wednesday, June 10th. Well, big primaries going on, just completed. We're going to have a runoff in South Carolina, so why don't we start there, see if we got a little signal issue going on. We're going to start there in South Carolina with the candidate that I endorsed and then President Trump endorsed, Pamela Abbott, the lieutenant governor, is going to go to a runoff with Alan Wilson, and he is the current attorney general. She had a slight lead there, this race up for grabs, but I'm very confident that in the runoff with President Trump's endorsement, and we might go down there as well to help her out, no doubt about it. She's I called her the Joan of Arc of South Carolina. She emerges in a runoff with Attorney General Wilson, both of them equally conservative, equally MAGA, but I preferred Pam Abbott because she was in the fight to get the redistricting done. And I want warriors and I want fighters. That's why I called her the Joan of Arc of South Carolina. So good news there. And let me tell you the other great thing that's happened yesterday is Steve Hilton has officially joined the race after the votes in California took a week. They're still being counted. The ballot harvesting, the ballot boxes, the drop boxes, the mail-in votes that just trickle in forever. You never really know where that thing is going, or that the whole thing is so corrupt. It's got to be revised. It is a complete and utter joke what is going on, how they do voting in California. But people have said to me, why haven't you covered that? Because why bother? I mean, you're never going to fix it. There's 90% libtards in their government. There's a handful of Republicans. You're never going to change it. You're never going to fix it. And let them just secede and go out to sea. Like why are we worrying about California? Steve Hilton's not going to win that race, and so our candidate for mayor that raised almost $3.5 million, Platt ran a great campaign. He was ahead on election day, and now he's not even in the final ballot in November. So the whole thing is ridiculous. California is a clown show on wheels. Who cares? I wish they would secede. Maybe we'll win the midterms and they'll decide to start their own country and we can put up one big, beautiful wall and they can't get here and we're all better off. Good riddance. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out is the way we frame this. Now, we've also got other results in. Graham Plattner is now the official candidate of the Democratic Party in Maine. And, they're all celebrating him. And so am I. I'm celebrating him too. You know why I'm celebrating him? Because this is the new face of the Democratic Party. Nazi tattoos, communist. This is the new face of them. Beats women, allegedly. Certainly isn't nice to them based on what people have said, allegedly. This is the new face, and they're all celebrating him. See, the Democrats don't care. As long as they can win and get power, they don't care who's there. Doesn't matter if you're brain dead, you're a vegetable, you're drooling, you're going around in a wheelchair. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a communist. As long as you give them the power, they'll support you. And Graham Plattner is going to raise $100 million in Maine. Now, who is going to fund this guy? We'll get into that later. But this is the new face of the Democratic Party. Also in California, in one of the seats that people, I don't know what's going on here, guys. I don't know what's going on there, but we got our video going in and out. Tell you what, let's do this. Dan, whatever's going on, let me try to reboot up and we'll fix it. Let's go to a quick word from our sponsors. Now I'll be right back.
In 2008.
Ponder this. We sometimes hear newly married couples discuss their future life as a family. Often this leads to discussions on the number of children they are planning to have. Typically, the number of children ranges from none to 2 or 3. Family life can be planned thanks to birth control and abortion. But the reality is that God has a birth control plan already established for those who love Him and trust in Him. We are called to live a life of chastity according to our state in life. If you are called to a married life, being open to life according to God's plan is a great gift and probably the greatest challenge in today's modern world. It starts by selecting a spouse who puts God and family first. Then, trust in God's birth control plan where parents are open to life and provide a sanctuary of faith for their family. Allow God, the author of life, to plan your family. I'm Susie Kelly and I am passionately Catholic.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code GODZILLA.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Well, let's hope we got this thing fixed here. Good to have you with us. Dan, as always, we're rocking and rolling as best as we can when we can do it. So good to have you with us. We have phone calls coming up, 888-480-JOHN. This is your network. This is your community. This is where we talk. This is where we meet. This is where we vent. This is where we give our advice. A lot of people texting me very upset about what is going on in MAGA. You're buying into the divide. I know you're talking to people. They're very upset about the war. They're upset about gas prices. They're upset about this and upset about that. They don't believe that Trump is fulfilling his promises. We're going to have an unbelievably booming economy. You know, Dan, we are still getting this. I don't really know what to do. I guess I can try a couple other things, but let's just get through to the bottom of the hour. Now we're not connected at all. So we're going to have some issues here coming up, Dan. I guess we'll just have to run that till I figure this out. Smart Smart move. So we're going to have some issues here today. We'll try to figure it out. Let's get to the phone lines. Steve in Virginia. Steve, you're live, line 1. Go ahead.
Good morning, Chairman Fredericks.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for taking my call.
You're welcome.
And I want to make two quick sports comments, and then I'll get to another topic, which is very more important than sports. But, Stephen A. Smith, A for Ass Clown, says that it was President Trump's fault that the Knicks lost. And Stephen A. Smith doesn't know that they lost because I wanted them to. So, that was a very tough choice, being a native New Yorker, to want the Knicks to lose. But I decided that I didn't want them to win based on the fact that Mandami would take credit for it. So the other issue is, last week you were talking about the Hurricanes as if they weren't going anywhere, but I'm saying that they're going to win Game 5.
Well, I bet them last night, and winner chicken dinner. You can go to you can go to Godzilla Wins and figure that out. Dan, go ahead and take me off the screen so until we figure this out, please.
Yeah. So yesterday, I completely understood your frustration with Israel and with the whole thing that's going on, but I have to say that I agree with Rob from New York in that, there's a lot of theater going on. And when it comes to, a specific journalist, Barak Ravid, the guy's a deep state leftist journalist hack in Israel. And I mean, he wrote for Haaretz. I mean, how bad can you get? And so he leaks this supposed phone call between Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, and it's like, there's a lot of stuff that's going on that, there's stuff put out in the press, obviously misinformation to mislead the enemy, and good for them. But when it comes to so much of the reporting that I've heard, there's a ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel. Israel and Lebanon are not at war. Lebanon has, through their own weakness, allowed a parasite terrorist organization to take up, residence in their country and bring, and I mean, look, the whole north of Israel is just emptied out. All the citizens have been moved out of, Hezbollah missile range. And so you've got the country saying, how long have we going to put up with this? Yes, Netanyahu's coming up for election and stuff like that. But the thing is that, once we had a helicopter taken down by Iran, well, now we're going to respond. But when Israel gets bombed all the time, from Hezbollah, no, don't respond. Be patient.
Where are you going with this?
Okay, so where I'm going with this is that, I don't think that we're hearing, all of the news, and I think that there's a lot of misinformation going out in the news as far as how they're playing this game and what the end game actually is. This is a religious war, When we came
what does this have to do? What does this have to do? What does this have to do with Israel? I'm not sure where you're going with this. Are you saying that this is theater, like Rob, that it's 9D chess and we're playing like tiddlywinks, like that theory, like they're way ahead of us? Or is it Israel's got a right to do whatever they want? I mean, bottom line this for me, Steve, I'm not following where you're going. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Maybe it's just
what I'm saying is that yes, that Israel has a right to respond, but the thing is that in the news we're not being told that they got hit with a bunch of rockets, and then when they respond, it's as if, look, they're going to Beirut after President Trump told them don't go to Beirut, and it's like, well, where's the enemy that's attacking you? So, it's very frustrating for everybody, and I get that. But like I said, I don't think that we're getting all of the news, and I know we're getting a lot of false information about what actually is happening. So, I don't think that Bibi Netanyahu and Trump are actually, they're not maybe not happy with the situation and that they're being put in
So
by Iran.
what do you think? What do you think we ought to do here? I mean, we had a peace deal on the table. It was I mean, the problem, the one problem the president has, and I'm going to be candid, because I'm backing him here and there. The one problem he's got is saying we're hours and days away, and we're not, and it just never happens. So now it's becoming like Chicken Little, right? Like, oh, we're days away, we're hours away, we're like a signature away, and then it never happens, and then something else happens, and now we're 2 weeks away. The bottom line is, last weekend he said we're hours away, and he was getting the deal he wanted for the American people to get out of this thing and get the objectives met. And then the bombing starts in Lebanon, and Trump told him not to do that, and he went and did it anyway. Now you can say it's retaliatory. I don't know that, but this idea that like behind the scenes this is like like made for TV. I just don't think. Look, it's an interesting hypothesis. I said that to Rob. It's interesting. I'm not going to criticize it.
Yeah. No. I'm not.
I mean, what do you want? What? Hey, hold the music here a second. What is it that you want Israel to do? You want them to keep bombing Lebanon? What do you want them to do, Steve?
They're not bombing Lebanon. They're bombing Hezbollah.
Hezbollah is in Lebanon. Trump asked them to knock it off until he gets this peace deal done. They wouldn't do it. Therefore, I'm done with the state of Israel. I'm done with everything. I'm over it. I mean, they're gumming up. They're gumming up President. I don't know, this constant defense of Israel, no matter whatever they do. You can't deny that whatever they did or whatever your reasoning is, they gummed up the peace negotiations. I mean, that is undeniable. And you're in Rob's position is that this was all planned. For what purpose?
What peace deal did we have? Okay.
Well, now you're calling the president a liar. I'm not going.
No, because
he said he had a peace
deal. I'm
not
calling the president a liar. I'm saying that he's dealing with a situation where he's trying to negotiate with people who are liars. Therefore, how can you believe anything that is coming out of them? That they're going to.
Okay, what is your solution, Steve? What is your solution?
Okay, boots on the ground.
Okay, well now we're getting somewhere. You want to go in and you want to finish the job and wipe them out. I am no longer opposed to that either. This whole thing is becoming ridiculous. It's nonsense. I mean, you're there, we're there, wipe them out, get rid of them, change the regime, and be done with it. And I don't really care what Israel does. As far as Israel is, I'm done. I'm done with this knee-jerk, whatever they do is great. Whatever they do is right. Whatever they do is perfect. It's not. Okay? It's not. They gum this deal up because the guy goes off and does whatever he wants. So what kind of an ally is this? You tell them, knock it off until I get this done, and then you're bombing Beirut. And then the ceasefire collapses, and the peace talks collapse, and now we're back to where we were 2 weeks ago. I mean, what kind of a relationship is this? You and Rob believe, I think, you and Rob believe that this was an orchestrated effort of misinformation for the news media. You guys might be right. I'm not denying that you could be right. Is it probable? No. Unlikely? Yes. But you could be right.
Yes. Don, I'll just give you my last word for this, which is that did we ever really have a ceasefire to begin with? This has always been that Iran does something, we respond. Oh, well, now we have to retaliate against your response to our original, attack. So, I mean, what we're negotiating and how things are going on, President Trump can't just come out and say exactly everything. You can't expose your strategy.
All right,
to the enemy.
I got you, Steve. I got to go. I don't know what. Okay, so the bottom line is you want to go in there with troops and topple the regime. That's what you you want to do. Okay, that's a position. I accept that position. So thank you. But this idea that, somehow Israel is free of, is free of responsibility because of some reason. I don't see it. Personally, I'm done with them. I'm done. I'm sick of the whole thing. I'm sick of Israel. I'm sick. This has nothing to do with the Jewish people. I'm sick of the state of Israel. I'm sick of backing them no matter what. So I'm done with that. And I think I'm now, going over to where a lot of people are. What is the point of what they're doing? Without them, without us, they wouldn't exist. So here's what I'm interested in. We call up and say jump, they say how high. Other than that, I'm not interested. Steve, I got to go. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network. Thank you for the call and for the spirited discussion. 888-480-JOHN. I'll be right back. Imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Marcus was absolutely awful. That's about as PG rated as I can say it. He was awful. Our guards were awful. Our 3 starting guards had 1 assist and 7 turnovers. They must think it's a tax credit. It's unbelievable how our starting guards played. And let's talk about our big guys. 2 for 11. How can you go 2 for 11? My wife can score more than 2 buckets on 11 shots, because I know my wife will at least shot fake 1 time. But those guys aren't listening. They're uncoachable right now.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
I got to tell you, Danny, that is an oldie but goodie. You know, it's so funny when you play these sports clips at the press conferences, which I love.
Yeah.
Is one of the funniest things about it is they get more animated as it goes on. Every single one.
They realize how mad they are. Like, I'm not just mad. I'm really mad.
No, the basketballs are the best.
Yeah.
And some of these that you dug up are just they're just classic. I think we got our problem taken.
It looks good. Looks good. How about that pivot though? We managed to pivot okay.
Well,
I thought we did a good job with that.
Yeah, and I've got we got some new things happening for DC Dispatch tomorrow. We added a second camera, so as you know, talking to Ryan, we're not going to have that 5 that set we had. So and I've got a shelf that I ordered that came in today, so we can clean this up a little bit. But yeah, we got a second camera. Ryan's going to be here running the camera tomorrow for DC Dispatch, so we hired him part-time helping us out. So it's going to be a lot better. You know, we're just trying to get better. Everything we try to do, we're trying to get better.
Our baseball teams need to try to get better. Both of them took it on the chin last night.
Oh yeah, I bet they have to. I turned to get. I looked at the score when I went to bed. It was already 5-0 in the bottom of the second. So I'm like, whatever. But hey, I did have a winner with. I had a couple winners last night. I had the Padres over the Reds. Padres won that game.
Okay.
Right?
Let me check on that.
Yeah, I think they were ahead early. I think they won that game, and I won the Carolina game. So
I had a feeling you might have bet on that.
Vince Vince had the other team. Yeah,
okay.
Vince had the.
Right, so hold on. You were looking for it was Cincinnati and the Padres. Whom did you want to win?
I bet San Diego.
Looks like the Reds won 5-3.
Unbelievable.
Well, I said in my sports update. Are you a Spaceballs guy? Did you ever see Spaceballs?
Yeah, it was.
I said that Pittsburgh needs to change the name of their baseball team to Mega Made because they've gone from suck to the rest. But they're terrible.
The Dodgers beat Paul Skeens last night.
Yeah, right? 5th straight start for him without a win.
Yeah,
which was sort of par for the course his first couple of years. But I mean, that was sort of the running joke is that Paul Skeens had like a 1 ERA but couldn't get a win from his team because they couldn't generate enough offense.
That was back in the day when he was losing games 2-1. Now he's getting shelled.
Yeah,
Major league hitters catch up. It's tough. They just catch up with you, and pitchers catch up also. Hitters get exposed because now they got the book on them and things of that nature. But anyway, we got a lot going on. But look, there's a lot of, I just want to put everybody at ease, right? I understand the text I get from really good friends of mine in the MAGA movement almost on a daily basis. There's a lot of angst in them. And a lot of people telling me, well, my friends are not voting. They're mad at Trump. They're leaving the movement. He lied to us. We're in a war. Okay. I just ask everybody to take a breath here, okay? We're in a war not so we can do regime change and have freedom rings or that somebody can sell oil. we're in a war because our military intelligence services allegedly told the leader of the free world that the Iranian regime was very close to being able to deploy a nuclear weapon. That's why he did this. Now, for all the people saying he said no wars, if he allowed them to get the bomb and they used it on Tel Aviv or pointed it towards New York, what would your reaction be then? See, we don't know. This idea that the president went to war over Saddam Hussein's fake WMDs, guy didn't have a pot to piss in. This is not the same thing. It's like I told Steve, when it was a spirited debate. But you either believe the president or you don't. And if you don't, then you're calling him a liar. And this is the stark reality. And what has happened, our movement is splintered now over Israel. And I'm really done with the Israel First movement. I mean, I supported it for as long. I supported Israel, the state of Israel, and what they're doing for as long that was humanly possible. Now it's not. Logic overtakes prior ideological bent. You can't argue the facts. Trump said there's a peace treaty. Very close. Trump told Israel, knock it off. Israel bombs Lebanon. I don't care what the reason is. Peace deal's off. 2 weeks extended. Trump calls them names on the phone call. Some people think it was, theater framed, made, planned ahead of time for some kind of reason. And maybe it is. Maybe it's, 9D chess and I'm playing, Candyland. I don't know. But I tend to reject that kind of stuff. I think emotions are raw. And I think Israel didn't do what the president told them to not to do. Peace deal got gummed up again. And then they shoot a helicopter down and we had to retaliate from that. You had to. So now we're back to where we were. All started with Netanyahu bombing Beirut, which started this whole thing. So personally, I want to move away from this blind support of Israel, no matter what they do. And that's what it is. It's just blind. It's the Levin wing of the party. And look, I'm not on the other side, but I'm just asking for truth and clarity. President Trump wants to end this war with two objectives. No bomb, open the straits. Those are his objectives. We've got $24 billion of their money, not ours, locked up. He's willing to give that back to them in a managed array of lifting the freeze so that the money goes not to bombs, not to Hezbollah, but to feeding their people. This is a rational position. Trump has taken rational position. And this hysteria, hair on fire, gas prices, no wars. You sold me out. What is this based on? No wars. What if we were attacked? We'd say, well, no wars. Sorry, you can just walk into New Mexico and take it over. I mean, what are you talking about here? This is not a war. The Democrats call it a war of choice. What do you mean a war of choice? Why did Trump do this? I mean, let's just think logically. He doesn't like wars. He doesn't want a nation build. He wants America first. He's proven that out. Why would he do this? Let's just think logically. Let's just sit back a minute and all take a breath. Why would President Trump decide to invade or to take out the military apparatus of Iran with epic fury and start this whole thing. Why would he do that? Knowing gas prices was going to go up, knowing that he would be criticized. What was the incentive for the president to do this politically? You know what the answer is, folks? Zero. Zero. So why did he do it? Based on the information he was given, he believed they were too close to a nuclear weapon for his comfort. And so he decided to do something about it twice. Now you can say, well, the first time he said he took it out, the second time. This, you either believe him or you don't. So when you say this is a war of choice, when you say this thing was, he never had a piece of deal, now you're which is fine. You're saying he's lying, and I'm not ready to go there because I don't believe that to be the case. I've criticized President Trump when I thought he was, made bad decisions like we all do, but I don't think this is in that category. And, people in this country, they're very impatient. They're very impatient. And I get it. And we don't want a war, and I get it. But you have to assume that the leader of the free world got intel that gave him tremendous concern that the state of Iran was too close to deploying a nuclear weapon offensively than he was comfortable with. I mean, can most of us agree on that? Because there was certainly no political reason for the president to get involved in this directly. There was no reason. Certainly not politically. Certainly not for his base. And for the people going off on him, I just ask for a pause. We don't know the facts of what happened here. That is all I'm saying. And I think if you really just just breathe, sometimes you just got to inhale and exhale, and we're going to be fine. The reason we're going to be fine is because I trust the president's judgment. I believe he did the right thing with epic fury. I believe he's negotiating out of good faith. I don't know how the negotiations will go. I have to believe they're getting closer, because he just wouldn't be lying every day either. He might be exaggerating a little bit. He might be a little exuberant, but he's not lying. So obviously we have something on the table that's getting close. Israel gummed it up and it pissed him off, as it would anybody. So do I support the president's position on Iran 100%? Am I a blind supporter of Israel no matter what they do? Israel first? No. Done with it. When they support us, I'll back them. When they don't, I'm not. I don't care about Israel anymore. I care about us. I care about our midterms. I care about our people. I care about our kids. The economy is on the brink of booming when we get out of this thing. And I'm going to say it again. When this war is over, and they don't have a nuclear bomb, and the Democrats will say they never had one, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they say. They lie too. That's all they do. They lie, Iran lies. But when gas prices come down, I just want you to ask yourself, all the friends that are telling you right now they're abandoning MAGA, and the kids are abandoning them, and nobody likes Trump, and et cetera, right? What are they going to say when there's no war and gas is $2? What are they going to say? Now, if gas is $9, well, then we're gonna lose. But it's not going to be. It's going to be $2.19, $2.29. That's what's coming. I bought gas in Cumberland for $3.29, Cumberland, Maryland. $3.29 coming home from Morgantown to D.C. $3.29, not $5. In Morgantown, $3.49. Regular gas, not $5. Oh, well, it's come down because he released the reserves. Well, that's why we had them. That's why he filled them to the brim when it was cheap. That's smart. It's like whatever he does, you guys just want to criticize it. And when gas was $5 under Biden, it was transitory and nobody said a word and nobody was going to die in the street. What he's done with housing is amazing. What he's done with the savings account for kids is amazing. What he's done with the economy is amazing. What he's done with your taxes are amazing. The one big beautiful bill, the regulations. I mean, I said the other day, we're looking at adding a property in Tennessee to our portfolio, and I called my bank that does the SBA loans, that did my WENO there. And the lady that handles it, all she does is SBA. And she said, I've been here 10 years. I've never seen anything like the last year under Kelly Loeffler. They have straightened this thing out. The paperwork is gone. The cronies are gone. The nonsense is gone. The DEI is gone. They look at your pro forma. They look at your business plan. And if it makes sense and your credit is reasonable and you can collateralize it, you're going to get the loan. They don't care about DEI. Under Biden, SBA loans were going to cronies. That's it. Now it's going to people that want to expand and open their business or grow their business. And she said, as a result, I'm making 2x the loans I did now than I made 2 years ago. 2x. And they're going to people that are hiring people. It's like I told her on the phone. We get this deal done. What's the first thing I'm going to do? New transmitter. Because whatever you buy, you inherit garbage, and I can't deal with garbage equipment. Everybody in my company knows that. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with fixing it off the air. I just can't. Half power, can't deal with it. We'll go out, we'll buy a new transmitter. I'll finance that. Guess what happens? Somebody's got to make it. Somebody's got to build it. Somebody's got to ship it. Somebody's got to install it. Somebody's got to truck it. Somebody's got to take it off the truck. Somebody's got to put it in the tower. My engineers got to hook it up. They all get paid. Then what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to hire 2 salespeople. Jobs, commission, earnings. Now 2 jobs have been created. This is what happens when you grow your business. And the fact that all these new businesses are starting up is because people believe in the economy. So I understand people are upset. And I've criticized the president where I thought I didn't agree with him. I thought the meme on Easter was horrific. I thought using the F word on the most impactful day in human history, Easter, was in horrible taste. So I wouldn't have done those things, and I criticized him for that. I thought getting into a Twitter war with the Pope was really in bad taste and dumb. It's still my Pope. Served no purpose, gained no votes. I've been very critical of that. But this war, he didn't just do this so he could walk around in the Situation Room. He did this because he believed it was in America's best interest. That is called America First. And now he's had enough of Israel, like I have. So take a breath here. We are going to win the midterms. They are nominating communists. And there is a communist movement, and it's real, but it's not 50% plus one. It's a minority, but it's real, and we're going to have to deal with it. Mandami, Crockett, these people, Taralico, these are communists. This guy that won the nomination in California, all the left wing is winning. And this is what it's going to come down to. And I don't think a majority of Americans are going to choose Graham Plattners and Jasmine Crockett's and Tarafricos. I just don't think they're going to choose those people. That's why I think we're going to win. And we got to understand that we got to put ballots in boxes. And I'm glad that we're finally over this ridiculous algorithm, servers on the moon, vote on game day. Mail-in ballots are bad. Voting early is bad. I'm glad we finally matured our way out of that utter clickbait nonsense that cost us elections. Got to get in the game, put ballots in boxes. Ballots, boxes, and maps. All I care about, folks. Phil Klein next.
WJFN, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, 100.5, 107.7, 92.7 FM, AM 820, and WJFB, Portsmouth, AM 1650.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. 4 more states have held primaries. Some of the results: South Carolina, Republican gubernatorial candidates, State Attorney General Alan Wilson and Lieutenant Governor Pamela Yvette advanced to a runoff. In Maine, it's Graham Plattner, the Democrat nominee for U.S. Senate, to face Republican incumbent Susan Collins. And then there's the California governor's race, a showdown between Republican Steve Hilton and Democrat Javier Becerra.
The November race will put a Democrat promising to cement the Golden State status as a stronghold of liberal policies against a Republican pledging to dramatically reverse course.
Correspondent Andrew Stewart. The U.S. has fired on Iranian military targets following the crash earlier this week of an American military helicopter. Iran launched missiles at Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan, all of which host U.S. military installations. President Trump continues holding out hope for a peace deal with Iran, and that relatively soon. The verdict is in a murder trial in a Dallas suburb that captured nationwide attention. The attacker and the victim, both teenagers.
A Texas jury has found Carmelo Anthony guilty of murder in the fatal stabbing of high school athlete Austin Metcalf. The case stems from a deadly confrontation at a high school track meet where Metcalf, a 17-year-old student athlete, was killed. The verdict brings a closely watched trial to a close after months of public attention and calls for justice from Metcalf's family and supporters.
Correspondent Willie Nelson says following the verdict, Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison. He'll be eligible for parole after serving 17 years. Stock futures sharply lower this morning. The Dow futures down 329 points. NASDAQ futures off close to 300 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Health insurance rates are surging in America, leaving millions without affordable options. If you're sick of having paychecks eaten up by healthcare costs or dealing with mega corporations, then listen to this. Christians don't need to waste money on a broken system. That's why I want to tell you about Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's an alternative to traditional health insurance at half the cost. With CHM, fellow believers contribute monthly to help pay each other's medical bills. There's no enrollment period, so you can join anytime. And you aren't restricted to provider networks, so you choose the doctors and hospitals you want. It's that simple. CHM is not insurance. It's a ministry that puts faith into action. Feel the difference of financial support and biblical care from fellow believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
The suspect in the fatal shooting of 15 people at a Jewish event on Australia's Bondi Beach late last year is now facing 19 additional charges.
These fresh charges were filed in April, but only now have they been confirmed by authorities. 24-year-old Naveed Akram faces 10 counts of shooting with intent to murder, 6 counts of discharging a firearm with intent to resist arrest, as well as 3 counts of causing wounding or grievous bodily harm with intent to murder. That's in addition to the other charges he already faces: 15 counts of murder, 40 of attempted murder, and 1 of committing a terrorist act. Naveed Akram was critically injured by police at the scene of the shooting. He was later transferred from hospital to prison. He's yet to enter a plea to the charges.
The BBC's Katie Watson. Series of long-range Ukrainian attacks has hit targets deep inside Russia. Military infrastructure among the targets hit. Townhall.com. Business is booming for one U.S. adversary.
China has reported that its exports picked up pace in May, rising 19.4% from a year earlier. That was stronger than economists had expected. China's exports have remained robust despite the Iran war, supported by shipments of autos, technology, and artificial intelligence-related products, as well as a rising worldwide shift to green technology. Imports to China jumped 27.4%. China's exports to the U.S. were up more than 35%. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates is set to appear today before a congressional panel investigating the Epstein files. Gates becomes the latest powerful figure linked to the disgraced financier to testify. He will be interviewed by lawmakers behind closed doors. More on these stories at townhall.com.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging supplements clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
Ponder this. All of God's children, you and I, have been created in God's own image. It's hard to fathom, isn't it? One thing we do know about God is that He's perfectly free. So He created us perfectly free to follow Him and free to deny Him. We have the choice. Our choice, however, has eternal consequences. It is the biggest decision in your life. I'm sure that most of you, if not all of you, want the final elevator ride to go up, not down. How we live on this earth determines our eternal destination, up or down, heaven or hell, and yes, hell is real. God has rules for us to follow in order to be admitted into His heavenly home. Just like the rules you may have for people to enter your home, maybe you do not allow smoking or profane language, God too has rules. There are 10 of them. We are called to obey His rules, not to change them, adapt them, or ignore them. The 10 Commandments guide our entry into eternal life. We must obey His rules in order to enter His heavenly home. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Trouble getting to sleep and staying asleep is infuriating. Your mind races, you toss and turn. Nutrition company Healthy Cell created REM sleep to help you quickly fall asleep, stay asleep, and sleep deep. Unlike other supplements that don't work, REM sleep is not a pill. It's a gel you swallow with ultra-absorption of science-backed ingredients supporting all 4 stages of sleep. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order. Risk-free. Love it or your money back. Guaranteed. Healthycell.com. Code GODZILLA.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Tired of fumbling for your phone, wallet, or keys? Don't put it in your pants, put it in your pocket. Meet T-Pocket, the practical tees, the shirt that keeps it all in reach. Designed in the USA, assembled in the South, these tees feature smart built-in pockets for easy access. Long sleeve, short sleeve, available in most colors, with your favorite teams and logos to come later. Shop the full lineup now at tpocket.net. Fast shipping, easy ordering. Grab yours today and level up your everyday carry. Put it in your pocket with T-Pocket. tpocket.net.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's The John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man Clint Eastwood would never tell to make his day, John Fredericks.
Well, it's great to have you back. I'm John Fredericks, your Godzilla of the Truth in America, your Oracle of the Deplorables. Great to have you with us, coming to you live from the most beautiful, safest city in America, your nation's capital, Washington, D.C., getting us set for our 250th anniversary. A lot of Democrats don't want to celebrate it. They hate our country. So they've not been shy about saying that they think we're a bastard nation that stole the land, and we really shouldn't be celebrating everything. We're a racist, awful country, a wretched people, and really should open up our borders and let all the third worlders in. And of course, they'll live on a nice castle up on a hill with a gated community and walls and guns, eating caviar and sipping wine while everybody else suffers. But that's kind of their way. They hate the country, and they hate America. They hate capitalism. They hate what we stand for. But meantime, they drive around in limos and fly around in private jets and get the wine and cheese set. So the hypocrisy of the left knows no bars, right? It's beyond the pale, but it's laughable. And now they got this guy, Graham Plattner, they got to deal with. But I tell you what, for as bad as everybody's saying things are, the economy is booming. But one of the things you really want to do is you want to stay in touch. You want to be able to stay in touch no matter what happens. You know, cell phones go down, you get out of areas. That's why we go on our bus tours. Guess what I bring? I got my sat phone right here. It's free. It's a $1,500 value. All I do with my sat phone is I pull the antenna up, I turn it on, I point it to the sky, and guess what? I can talk to anybody on Earth by dialing the number and hitting the send button. That's all I got to do. I am in touch. I can also get the internet on it on my new sat phone, which I traded the old one in and got the new one. This is the most unbelievable technology. It's a $1,500 value. You get it for free. This thing is the most brilliant thing ever created, and it's doesn't matter where you are on Earth, right? Range, no range, one bar, no bars, where you're driving to, where you're out hiking, whatever it is. This is the thing you want, especially if things go south, get a hurricane, get a fire, any of that stuff, right? You get high winds, you're good to go with your sat phone. I never leave home without it. I never go anywhere without it, right? Ann has one. I got her one. She has 100% of the time. Hey, something happens, we want to be able to call you. This is the other thing. Can't find me, call my cell, it died. You call my sat phone, I'll answer it because it's going to ring, right? Because no matter where I am, I have 100% coverage. Now, here's all you have to do. Go to sat123.com, sat123.com. It is that easy, sat123.com. You get your free sat phone there, right? $89 a month. You get 150 free minutes. They roll over. So basically, if you don't use them for a month, the next month you got 300 minutes. I mean, it's one of the greatest plans ever. Check this out. Hey, Father's Day is coming up, right? This is the perfect gift. This is really it. Just go to sat123.com. I love my sat phone. I love my Starlink. I love my sat phone. I love what Elon Musk has done. Go to sat123.com, sat123.com. And a big shout out to the founder of sat123.com, Tina Blanco, brilliant lady, has really taken advantage of the technology out there and brings them right back straight to us at a price that we can afford. The whole thing is about affordability. So go to sat123.com, and thank you, Tina Blanco, for all you do. I really appreciate it. Let's get to my good friend, Phil Klein, law professor. Phil, also former Attorney General of Kansas. Phil, great to have you with us.
Good to be with you, John.
So I'm going to play a couple of clips here and get your reaction. Let's go to cut 6 here. Susan Collins, Senator Maine, Republican, talking about her newly minted opponent, Graham-o-Nazi Plattner. Roll it.
The allegations against Graham Plattner are extremely troubling and serious, and he owes the people of Maine a detailed answer.
He says that this is
I haven't heard that.
He says it's a different time of his life, even given the controversies he's faced.
Listen, we're a long ways before the election. Today is primary day. Let's see what happens in the primary.
He says it's a different time in his life. Do you buy that explanation?
It's not.
Okay, that was Susan. First of all, Phil. Okay, now I'm a Susan Collins fan, and my a lot of my listeners get on me, but I've talked to her a couple of times. I mean, it's like okay, who are you going to vote for? You're going to vote for like grandma, like you're at a house, she's baking cookies. I mean, you're going to vote for Susan Collins or this grandma Nazi guy. I mean, she's just a delightful lady. And you know, at the end of the day, Phil, Collins votes with us when the chips are down. She's always done that. So for all the criticism she gets from MAGA and the right, she's there with us the overwhelming majority of the time. She saved the Kavanaugh nomination single-handedly. One of the greatest speeches ever made in the well. It gave me chills when I saw it. So I don't know how a Maine voter is going to vote for this whack job, Phil.
Well, I agree with you, John. Once the primary is over, we support our nominees, and you know, that's been our history. That's been what we have done in the past. It's what we should do. But also within the Republican Party, there's a faction of the permanent party that works very hard to prevent our conservative nominees from progressing. And that is a problem, and they need to be called out on that. So I agree with you on Susan Collins. At the same time, you know, a lot of the effort to defeat Republicans, particularly conservative Republicans, comes from inside the party after the primary. And that needs to stop as well.
Give me some examples. Okay, well, let me get the cut 8 on Collins, and then give me some examples of that. Here's a Maine voter saying she's not voting for Grandma Nazi. Go ahead.
Frankly, of reading about some of the things he's said and done, I think they can. The allegations are just reprehensible.
Yeah, well, that's the understatement of the day. But Phil, give me some examples of what you're talking about.
Well, here in Lynchburg, the Republican Party had a firehouse primary. The nominees were nominated and elected, and then you have these orchestrated challenges all coming pretty much from one person with connections on the state central committee to throw out the votes of 1,633 Republicans and pick the losers as the nominees. And what's really concerning is the messaging of the state central committee that they might be willing to consider this when the challenges are procedurally deficient and based on rumor and don't provide any evidence and don't even allege that the vote count was wrong, that the tallying was wrong, that an eligible voter was unable to vote or ineligible voters voted. It's nothing like that. It's just we don't like the result, and therefore you need to change it. And if the state central committee gives this serious consideration, they're giving the middle finger to the grassroots in the only red city in Virginia. and my concern about that is you extrapolate this, and this is a Republican Party that lost 17 seats in Richmond. 17 in the last election. A Republican Party that is chosen to be out of touch with its base and continues to play inside politics with these things. And that is a Republican Party that has a suicide bent. And this beltway running of the Republican Party of Virginia is disastrous. They need to get on the front porch. They need to have a grassroots network. They don't have it. It's all inside baseball and consultant discussions. And it's concerning. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit fired up about this, what I've seen as continued incompetence and problems with the Republican Party of Virginia.
I agree with you. Have you talked to newly elected Chairman Jeff Ryer about this?
Yes.
What did he say?
Nothing. Basically what he said is he can't say anything. He doesn't know because he doesn't know who he is. My impression of Chairman Ryer is he's answering to voices outside the room, and he hasn't figured out exactly what they want to say, so he doesn't know what to say. Now, that is an assumption on two discussions. I could be flat out wrong. I apologize for that. But my impression is he's a political animal and he's answering to other voices. But we'll see. I could be wrong. This challenge needs to go away. It is a fraudulent challenge based on no credible facts that there was a problem in that primary. And they're playing right into the Democrat hands because the Attorney General of Virginia has now opened an investigation, and that's amplifying a cloud over the nomination. The media is not a thoughtful media, so they just report controversy. All you have to do is say this is controversial, and it gets headlines. And nobody looks down at the facts. And if you look at the facts, there's nothing there. But unfortunately, a perception is reality when you have a party with no strong leadership. And the leadership has been provided from the top down. It was Governor Youngkin. He provided strong leadership. But the party needs its own leadership, not this personality cult that it creates around certain people. And that is what's happening in Virginia right now. People are making decisions not based on what's right and what's wrong, but what happens to me in a couple of years if I can get a statewide nomination, or what will I do if this person gets caught in a controversy, this bus crashes and somebody dies on the election. Suddenly I am the emperor. So therefore all of my decisions have to be based on what is best for me right now and not what is best, what is based on the truth. And that's unfortunately a demise. Nobody, no party, no nation, we see it nationally, without moral clarity has vision. The dollar or self-interest become the vision in its place, and therefore there's no structure of fairness. It's all about self-interest. And that's what this will dissolve into if the State Central Committee doesn't abide by its own rules and kick this out and win in November. That's the game. That's what the Republican Party of Virginia needs to do.
Phil, that's coming from you. That's quite a indictment of the current leadership of the Republican Party of Virginia. I have reached out to Jeff. He said he wanted to come up and meet with me for lunch. So I've just wrote this down. I'm going to reach out to him again today at the break and see if we can do that. I do have Chairman's Corner. I like to get him on. I know he doesn't like to do media much, but I think you have to in this position that he's in. But, I know Jeff Ryer, the chairman of the RNC, the Republican Party of Virginia, a very long time. He was basically Tommy Norman's guy, and he did a lot of great work there. And I remember working with him on a lot of different things. But he's also a political consultant. And I think, my view has always been chairman of parties, you go down a very dangerous path when they're one of two things: a political consultant, or, and I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's dangerous, or an elected official. Neither of those have proven successful anywhere, because an elected official, you got too many other things that you're doing that you're concerned about. It's just too much. And if you're a consultant, you have a little bit of a different perspective. I always thought a party chairman should be like, somebody that served in the legislature, like the former one that we had, served, and now he's, decides to do that, or, came up through the ranks. But I think that's kind of where Virginia's in right now. And I know they've got a meeting on Saturday, and I got one of the chairmen from one of the cities coming on, because they're voting on whether or not they get involved in the referendums going on in Virginia in November. And I was shocked at that. Like, what are you voting on? These referendums are horrible.
Yeah, it's very clear. That's a pretty easy answer.
Why are they
to post these referendums?
Why are they debating that?
Well, John, this might come out okay, and I might be premature to a certain extent in my criticism, but not fully premature. What you have is leadership that is shaped by pressure, not leadership that's shaped by conviction. And when you get that, you have nothing you can count on. And when people go out, the grassroots, and they build a foundation for the party, and the party puts them through the ringer with three challenges that are procedurally defective: clearly should not be accepted, are based on rumors, internally incoherent. They claim one thing and then in the same paragraph refute what they said. They take statements out of context to try to mean something else. It's clearly not viable. And then you put the local unit through this process when the nominees ought to be out there campaigning against Democrats that were announced in January, then the party lacks leadership. And this milquetoast, I've got to find my way through the process first before you lead, is not what we need right now. Look, I have been more of a fan of what President Trump does than what he says. He speaks boldly, too boldly. He promises and underdelivers. I would end the Ukraine war in a month. Then the Ukraine war would never happen. And he's got to stop that. He needs to be a president and not a candidate. But in any event, he has bold leadership. But what I've seen in Virginia, unfortunately, pretty much since I've been here, unless there's a strong state leader like Governor Youngkin, is a party that has no vision, a party that continues to think in the old school ways and is getting whipped in the grassroots, and now is ready to kiss off the only red city in Virginia. So instead of looking at the fact they lost 17 seats, they're in there squabbling because some people have an ambition of future leadership in the party, and they want to harm what they see as potential political opponents down the line. It's ridiculous. So you need strong leadership to stop that. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing that strong leadership anywhere. I see the Republican Party continue to publicly bicker and not support its nominees.
That's a pretty significant indictment of current leadership of the Republican Party of Virginia, Professor Klein.
Well, it's also structural, John, in that, and they've got this process where if you contest an election, you appoint a 5-member panel where the person contesting the election appoints 2 of the persons, and then 2 for those who ran the election, and then those 4 pick a 5th. And the problem with that is that is a good process if you're arguing over what the local unit symbol ought to be, but it's not an electoral process. No state structure provides for that type of appeal when elections are math. And you look at this election, no allegation the votes were not counted right. No allegation that eligible people could not vote. No allegation that any claim of electioneering changed the vote. No specifics whatsoever about the vote count being wrong. Yet this is continuing to get headlines across Virginia, and a hearing last night lasted about 4 hours. It's unfortunate to see this.
I can sense your level of frustration, and for somebody that like yourself, Professor Klein, who has been around the block a number of times, very seasoned, very savvy. I take what you say very seriously. Remember, for our audience, Professor Phil Klein here was really the first person in America to be calling out these NGOs as the baseline for the communist onslaught of stealing elections. He was the first one to call them out, where nobody really understood what was going on with them. And so he brought attention to that. So, Phil, when you say something with this amount of passion, I take you very seriously. And so I'm going to take you at face value. But I think
I'll send you the motion to dismiss, John, just if you get a chance, read it.
I will read it. And, one of the most interesting things you said is leadership that is shaped by pressure and not by conviction fails. I think that's might be what you're looking at in some of these cases. But, what's interesting as you go through the internal machinations of the Republican Party, and we've had a lot of successes and a lot of great chairmen and a lot of great party building in a lot of different states. But there's also the times where you just have no leadership, and you have chairmen that are more interested in their own self-interest. And that's it. And when you take them on, it becomes very ugly because they want that, they want that, they want to go around with that badge on. They want to fly to the meetings and the winter meetings and, say chairman. So you get a lot of that. I mean, I'm seeing it here in DC where, I'm doing more in this ward than anybody has ever done in the history of the DC GOP anywhere. I've done more in 4 months, 6 months.
Well, you're seen as a threat then.
And so I get thrown out.
Yeah.
I mean, so they throw me out because what do you mean you're having town halls? We don't do that. What do you mean you're engaging voters? Well, you got to go through the party to do that. I'm not doing that. I'm running a campaign. Well, what do you mean you're texting voters? Well, what do you mean you're doing mailers? We don't do that here. Well, that's because you're getting 5% of the vote. That's why you don't do it.
Yeah.
You do something and then you get thrown out and criticized. It's unbelievable. So,
and it's we're sitting here. You mentioned the NGOs. They've poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into Lynchburg. The Democratic Party wants the last red city in Virginia. And what's the Republican Party do?
Nothing.
It's stunning to watch. I have been in Kansas and as Attorney General and then in leadership positions with the Republican Party. I understand the inside baseball. I understand the compromises, but the compromises always move a principle forward. You don't compromise on principle and you don't compromise on leadership. And that's what I see is everybody internally trying to find out what's best for them in the next step. And you're going to lose the passion of the base that way. And if Virginia takes Lynchburg for granted, if the State Central Committee takes Lynchburg for granted, it's a real problem for this state and the future of the Republican Party in Virginia. I know people will see it as a blip.
Bill, I need you to hang with us because a couple of things. We got to take calls. You got to call Phil and ask him a question. I don't care where you are in America. I know you got an issue with some Republican Party somewhere. Certainly I do. I do here as I'm running for Ward 2 chairman and I got to deal with my chairman that threw me out. Hashtag Petty Pat, complete loser. So we all got to deal with this stuff. But I know you got questions for Professor Klein. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Let's have some fun. Let's light it up. Get on the phones, ask him a question. Let's get him engaged. Bill Klein fired up today. Plus, he got some kind of a new internet service going. So he doesn't go in and out. He doesn't freeze. He got a great backdrop. I think he got Starlink. That's what I think. I'll be right back.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
A groundbreaking new study shows that there is a safe and inexpensive potential cancer treatment, and it's a drug that many of us already know about, ivermectin. This new study shows that individuals who took ivermectin, the parasite-fighting medication that gained fame during the COVID pandemic, along with the drug mebendazole, saw remarkable results in their battles with cancer. These incredibly promising results have many Americans wondering where they can obtain U.S.-made ivermectin and mebendazole. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from Wellness Company doctors all the time on this network, and you know that their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The wellness company is making 100% American-made ivermectin and mebendazole available at an incredibly affordable price point. Say no to Big Pharma's greed and no to Big Pharma's poisons, and say yes to a company that you can trust to bring you safe, affordable, and effective treatments. If you or someone you love is interested in trying ivermectin and mebendazole, then I urge you to go to twc.health/Godzilla today and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use the promo code Godzilla to save 10%.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
This meeting with China and President Trump, the stakes couldn't be higher.
Listen, China's not our friend. They've been stealing our technology. They've been stealing the AI, responsible for the COVID. We have to be very, very careful about giving stuff to China.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
It's the top news of the day.
China wants the oil from Iran.
They want to make a deal that's good for them and not piss us off too much.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C., making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of D.C. GOP Ward 2 to make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
Folks, this is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Soul Tea. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Soul Tea for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Soul Tea. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
That's how I feel. Damn sick and tired of getting out rebounded. 25 offensive rebounds. First time we block out, we get called for a damn block out. We're pushing people. Meanwhile, they're on the other court grabbing rebounds, going over the top and grabbing them. We get one offensive rebound, the other get called for over the back. We don't block out very damn well, and we're not getting called, one or the other. That's where I'm frustrated. That's where my whole frustration comes in, offensive rebounds. The entire thing came down to offensive rebound. They got every stinking offensive rebound, and we didn't get one of them. What else do you want to know?
He's the voice of Virginia.
No, you can't. You have one of the worst voices I've ever heard in my life.
And the commander of common sense.
Fire at will, Commander.
Now back to the John Fredericks Show.
What else do you want to know? Could you imagine trying to ask a question after that? I'd be like, yeah, I got to go. I'm on deadline. What else do you want to know? Oh, my goodness. Some of these clips make me laugh. We got to put up every day we have to play at least one Herman Edwards clip. You got to play one. Okay, we got a big victory party coming up on Tuesday on my campaign, Tuesday night, June 16th. I want you there. It's going to be at the iconic City Tavern. Put that up for me if you would. My good man there, Dan Hobgood, our executive producer. We've got Corey Lewandowski. We've got Brandon Beach. We've got Morgan Griffiths, who's going to be on with us at 8. So we got to do this whole promo again to promo him coming on. But we're gonna have a lot of fun there. We're gonna win big. We're engaging voters. We're trying to really change DC. I tell you what, it's been phenomenal. Campaign has been awesome, and appreciate everybody's help. But we still got our final push here at the end. Get all our voters out and make a difference. And then I get back on the executive committee. They can't throw me out because I'm an elected official. So they're stuck with me. And we're going to change this thing from within and continue to call out, like Phil Klein has, abysmal leadership for self-interest. This is what I'm dealing with in D.C. This is why we get 5% of the vote. This is why they threw me out of the party. This is why they ostracized me. And this is why I'm running to get your votes to win. So you can help us out. Just go to makedcgreat.com, makedcgreat. Check out our website. I've got policy positions on there that are more in depth than all the mayoral candidates combined, okay? Because I do my homework. So just go to makedcgreat.com, makedcgreat.com, and you can give us a donation there. We'd really appreciate it. Maximum donation, $200, but anything helps. And if you can come to our party, tickets are only $50. We'd appreciate that. We're going to have a lot of fun, lots of great food, open bar. So you're going to get your money's worth there, plus great speakers, plus just a great night of celebration as we go into our country's 250th anniversary. So just go to makedcgreat.com, makedcgreat.com, and want to thank you for your support and all the outpouring of support that we have, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Also want to thank Professor Phil Klein for being a donor and a supporter of our campaign. Phil, thank you.
Honored to.
Thank you, Phil. Very nice of you. And if you're in the area on the 16th, I hope you can make it because it's going to be a lot of fun. So, Phil Klein. Now, we're going to open this up for calls, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. I don't care where you're from. I want you to ask Phil about party apparatus, what he sees, what's going on, because it's a bigger picture than just Lynchburg, Virginia. So Phil loves to take your calls, and that's why we're having him on here for another segment. But Phil, we have spent so much time talking about getting people involved, Precinct 2.0, taking your party over from the grassroots. And that's one of the reasons I'm running, because you can't say it without doing it yourself, which, Ann and I are doing now. But, this Virginia thing is such a mess. I mean, we lost 17 seats. We got killed in the governor's race. Spanberger won by 15. She had a 70% approval rating. We had no message. We had a terrible candidate in Winsome Sears. And now here we are with nothing infighting again. What is the deal here?
Well, we haven't built the local infrastructure, John. You and I have covered this in the past. And the Republican Party of Virginia, so close to the Beltway, is captured by the consultant class. And those are people who make money on radio and television and what's the latest polls and so forth. And they haven't figured out how to make money by getting out on the doorstep where the Democrats are. And the Democrat infrastructure has been built over the past 2 decades. The Republicans still aren't doing it. We have a party that is built on celebrity right now. If there's a strong figure at the head who captures the public imagination, then our party is strong, like President Trump. He continues to win with his endorsements. And the Republican Party does stand a good chance because of these redistrictings and Supreme Court decisions in the midterms, which will show some progress for controlling Congress. But it masks how feeble we are at the local level. And these folks aren't concerned about it. You talk to them and it's like, oh, we got it covered. The campaigns will do that. No, they're not. No, they're not. Look, the Democratic Party is captured by Marxists and you're still having trouble winning. The American people are not Marxist. The left are outworking you. That is what is happening. And they just can't see it. They can't see it. They hold on to their temporary victories as if it's to their brilliance, and the ground is shifting underneath them.
Let's get to the phone lines for Phil Klein. Professor Phil Klein, also now GOP party activist. I love it. Right? Welcome to my world, Phil. This is great. I love getting people involved in party politics. You got to take it over from within, like we've been trying to do for a very long time. Very impressive. Okay, let's get to, I love this, Phil. Let's get, as the Astros and Royals lose, we have nothing else to do.
Well, the Royals won 2 in a row, John.
I know, I did. Yeah, they did. We got beat last night by the last place, worst record in baseball, Angels, 10-1. Unbelievable. Let's get to Bernie in Pennsylvania. Bernie, you're on with John and Phil. Bernie, go ahead.
Good morning.
Hi, Bernie.
I'm really enjoying the program. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes.
I wanted to bring up that, and I don't know if Phil pays attention to Pennsylvania politics, but when Mastriano won the primary, he didn't get the support of the party. And even some, like had a small business at the time, and I belonged to the National Federation of Independent Businesses. And even though they put out a voter guide every year, they wouldn't back Mastriano, and they left him out of the voter guide. So that exact same thing happened to Mastriano. I'll hang up in a minute and listen to your answer. My wife wanted to know if those books are Phil's collection behind him. It's a very impressive collection of books. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernie. Well, Phil?
Well, right now,
about the backdrop. He wants to know about what are the books behind it.
I'd reach back and I'd grab one, but it is an impressive big screen television that's got that. So I won't be able to pull them off the shelf. I do have a few books, but those are not the books. That it looks like the Great Works collection there in the middle, which is a great collection of books.
Oh, so you got like I do. You got a TV backdrop.
Yeah. You're not in front of the White House,
baby. You come a long way, man. Very, very nice. Very.
Well, as I mentioned, Deborah's holding the antenna on top of the roof to get the exact, So, but John, we are still in a position in this party where the structure does allow us to do the hard work and build from the base up like you're trying to do. It still allows us. Now, the Democratic Party, honestly, is trying to change all of that. Here in Virginia, they have no party registration for voters, which makes selecting your Republican nominee difficult. Here in Virginia, they threaten you if you try to run a Republican primary with only Republican members voting. It's controversial here. You even have some elected officials screaming about how you can't do that. Republican elected officials. No, you got to allow the Democrats in. And that's actually one of the strategies that they have is to bring Democrats in. They sign a renunciation. I will not support Democratic candidates. I'll support the Republican. And they break them right after their candidates lose. And then they come back and they vote again. It's stunning how the left is infiltrating the Republican Party, trying to reshape how it picks its nominees, and Republican Party leaders are okay with that. They're fine with that. As long as their seat is okay.
Phil,
they don't mind it.
Phil, change is coming, baby. Change is coming.
Oh, I hope so.
Phil, change is coming because you and I are right there in the front lines. I am so excited today that I got finally, after all this time, we got Professor Phil Klein, kind of the policy wonk. He does the NGO things. He's a law professor. Ran for was attorney general in Kansas. We finally sucked him into our world.
I'm going to regret this.
Now you'll never get out. Now that we sucked you into our world of intra-Republican Party takeover politics, I am so excited to have an ally that I can depend on in Lynchburg, Virginia. All right, let's get to Misery Loves Company, baby. Let's get to Leonard in Georgia. Leonard, this is a great day. It took me 6 years to finally get Phil Klein embroiled in Republican local politics, in seeing how bad some of these parties are. But go ahead, Leonard. You're up.
It's always great to talk to the greatest professor in this nation. But me and you, John, we're going to take Professor Klein to the USC cage in Washington, D.C. We'll train him and we'll put him up to fight any of the little pathetic cockroaches, either in the Republican Party of Georgia or the Republican Party of Virginia. And I guarantee you, Phil Klein, he'll take them down and choke them out and make them tap out. I enjoyed watching you guys today, but here's what I want to say real quick, John. The Republican Party of Georgia is identical to the Republican Party of Virginia. Pathetic, weak. We went to the convention in Dalton, and I wish you could have been there because it was a free-for-all. That song from Ted Nugent, it's a free-for-all. That's what it was, a free-for-all.
And?
Yeah, there's a lot of... Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead. I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
Yeah, we just got weak leadership. We censure that Ratburger. He could not run as a Republican in Georgia, and guess what he did? Ran as a Republican in Georgia. So Georgia politicians, Republican Party they don't have any teeth. They don't bite. We just want to play patty cake.
Leonard, who's going to win your two runoffs next week? Who's going to be the Senate nominee, Collins or Dooley?
Collins.
Who's going to be the gubernatorial nominee, Jackson or Burt Jones?
Burt Jones. I got connections with both of those guys. I've talked to both of them, and I support them, so I know who they are.
Can Vernon Jones win the Secretary of State race?
Absolutely. Vernon is my man. I mean, I love Vernon Jones. He's got guts. He was the only one out there in 2020 at the state capitol demanding a recount and get to the bottom of the stolen election. Nobody else was there. Vernon Jones was there protecting my wife and my son. So I'm a Vernon Jones supporter, and that man's got guts.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Got anything else for us, Leonard?
No, other than Professor Klein. I can give him some martial art techniques, and he can take on any of the pathetic politicians in Virginia.
What you call them, cockroaches? That's not very nice.
Yeah, pathetic cockroach, dung beetles.
888.
Anyway, guys, great show. We'll talk later.
Thank you, Leonard. See, Phil, you got a little fan club going now because a lot of people involved in this. And our position always has been, this is why I'm such a supporter of Dan Schultz and Precinct 2.0. You got to take the party over from the bottom up. And it takes a long time. It's harder than it seems. You get ostracized. You get treated like crap because they want you out. They want to control their little fiefdom. And the worse the party is, the lower the vote count is, the more fierce they are to keep control.
That's right.
Small control at all. And that's what you'll find. In states like Texas and Florida, we have great Republican parties, great leaders, great people, and they want to win, and they want to get more votes, and they want to register voters. They want to bring them in. But as you get out in these blue areas, this is what I've learned. The smaller your vote count, the more vicious the leaders are because they want all they want. They don't want to win. They don't want to bring attention to the fact they get 5% of the vote like, our guy does, Patrick Mara, mired in 5%. All they want to do is maintain control, have that badge, says chairman, go to the meetings, be a big shot, right? And the worse they do, the stronger they are. So they have an inverse relationship to success. Does that make sense, Phil?
Yeah, I've dealt with it all my political career. You have people who have no vision but self. And when you place your identity into a position, you're unwilling to make the tough decisions based on principle or what is right. I've seen it over and over again. I remember my first session in the state legislature in Kansas. I was seated next to a guy who ran as a conservative, but didn't know who he was. He just knew his district was conservative. And we have our first recorded vote on a pro-life issue, and he is in a state of panic. I mean, literally sweating, not sure how to vote. And I said, Gary, vote what you believe. And he goes, oh, that's not it. That's not it. I can't remember what I told the newspaper on how I said I would vote. In other words, he didn't know who he was, except as a state representative. Losing that position would lose his entire identity. And so he was saying whatever was necessary to hold on to it. And therefore, he couldn't remember who he was. That's the leadership that brings about a bankruptcy within a party. And I could be premature on this. The chairman could be negotiating this towards a reasonable conclusion. And the only reasonable conclusion, if they follow those rules, is to kick this out, get behind the nominees, and get on to November and defeat the left. But if they make noise out of this, if they allow this challenge, they have just lost the only red city in Virginia. This is 1,633 voters who turned out. And I saw one Republican leader screaming on television about how unfortunate it was. People had to stand in line. My gosh, this is a 3 times higher turnout than the last one that they had. That's a sign of success. I'm amazed to see these Republicans do nothing but criticize their own rather than defeat the left. And it's elected officials, and we'll see if it's the state central committee.
I mean, you can even take what you're saying up to the national and federal level, right? I mean, you look at the internal criticism and the infighting that we have in the Republican Party as a whole with our federal and some of our gubernatorial candidates and all that going on, and the Democrats never do that. I mean, the fact that you look at the fact that they have come behind this character, Plattner. I mean, the guy, this is a sick dude, right? He's just a weird dude, Nazi tattoos and allegations of all kinds of things that we understand they haven't even got the tip of the iceberg. And the guy's a communist. I mean, he said yesterday, here's a guy that's running for Senate who said billionaires didn't make that money. So we need to take it from them. They can have a couple of million, but we need to take it from them and give it to those that are deserving. Well, that's the Communist Manifesto. And like people are clapping. I mean, this is insane. And this guy is the Democratic nominee and tied in the polls with somebody of the stature of Susan Collins. This is crazy.
Yeah, I've always believed, and I've always operated by the premise that if you win a primary in the Republican Party, you have my support. You have my support. And we battle it out in the primaries. And that has to be true with conservatives and also the Forever Party institutionalized persons. We back our nominees. And what we're seeing that's unique now is an attack by the party on its own nominees that is premised by the left and some losing candidates being supported by giving it air when it should not have air. And they're creating a conflagration that is showing disrespect for the grassroots. And that's what sometimes you get with the institutional party, where the consultant class puts up its leaders and so forth, and it's all inside baseball. And I've watched Virginia politics now for the 15 years I've been here. I have avoided it like the plague. but I attributed the impotence generally to its proximity to the Beltway, because Beltway politics is broken. It is money and grifting that drives Beltway politics. And I figured that influenced Virginia Commonwealth Republican Party politics too much. I'm convinced of that now. This inside baseball stuff, which gives its middle finger to the grassroots all of the time, is the destructive force within the Virginia Republican Party. And we'll see, John. Maybe if they stand up on Saturday and with a decisive voice say these resolutions have to be defeated, we're going to do everything we can. These challenges are dismissed because they are procedurally deficient. They're not based on anything. The results stand, and get behind the nominees. Then I was premature. And I'll come on your show and apologize for being premature. I won't apologize in saying that the problem is we don't have a grassroots infrastructure in the party that is funded. And I won't apologize by saying that we're too captured by the consulting class and not in touch with the heartbeat of Republican voters. But otherwise, I'll apologize.
You were definitely a quote machine today. I got about 5 of them written down. I got some of them I'm going to just steal. Some of them I'll put in the title here. But listen, this thing started because there's the only red city in this Commonwealth of Virginia is Lynchburg. We had a primary election. 1,600 people turned out, which is, for Republican primary is a lot, 3 times what it normally does. You had a slate of candidates that won. Somebody's challenging the election for whatever reason, and the challengers are ridiculous. The bylaws allows them to do that. It's tying up people, and you went to leadership and asked them to intervene and stop the nonsense, and Jeff Ryer punted and wouldn't do anything. There's what this whole segment's about. And it's not Jeff Ryer, who's the chairman of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, who I know very well, and I told you before, he's a straight up guy. But it's a bigger issue that you're looking for determined leadership. We're going to make a decision and do the right thing. And in the current leadership, you didn't see that, and that's leading to your frustration.
Yeah, it's even worse, though, John. The rules of the Republican Party are pretty clear. To sustain a challenge, First, you have to file it with a local unit. They didn't do that. The chairman let them not do that. Then you have to go to the district. They didn't. The chairman allowed them not to do that. You have to have 25 signatures. They don't. The chairman allowed it to proceed. I can continue down the list of their own rules that they violated in considering these.
When you say the chairman of the
Republican
Party or the chairman of the Republican Party, Ryer?
The Republican Party of Virginia.
So you're saying that Jeff Ryer, the chairman, allowed all those things to happen. You called him on it, and his answer was what?
It's happening. Last night they were called on it. Very clearly, these challenges should be tossed, should not be considered in the light of day. There's only 33 signers. When you consider the family members of the losers and a couple of families and ineligible persons, that's 64% of their signatures are those persons. It's filled with rumors, innuendo, false statements. This should not have any light of day. But unfortunately, it does. And the Republican Party is feeding the flames.
Professor Phil Klein, thank you for your candor and sharing what's going on. This is a microcosm of what may be going on in other areas. So we thank you for that.
Good to be with you, John.
Maybe the next chairman will be Phil Klein. You never know.
I'm going to flee.
Now that we've sucked him into local politics. Morgan Griffith next. Keep it right here on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Ronald Reagan, among others.
Californians will have a real choice for change in November.
Republican Steve Hilton will face Democrat Javier Becerra in the race for California governor this November. A former Fox News commentator backed by President Trump, Hilton frames voters' choice this way.
Whether they want to keep going with the policies that have brought us to the highest poverty rate, the highest unemployment rate, the highest cost of living in the country, whether they want more of that with Javier Becerra, or whether they want to go in a new direction.
Becerra has served as California's Attorney General and U.S. Health Secretary.
I believe that we must protect inclusion everywhere we can.
I'm Ben Thomas.
In Maine, Graham Plattner is a Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate. South Carolina Republican U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham has won his primary race. First, the Senate, now House Republicans, passing a $70 billion funding package for ICE and Border Patrol operations. House GOP leader Steve Scalise.
This is a piece that Democrats have said they don't want to fund because they want open borders. They have made it crystal clear, the Democrat Party in Washington, that they want to go back to open borders, and we're not going to do that. We need to fully fund this department, especially at a time of heightened security threats.
And the funding bill now heads to President Trump for his signature. Iranian military targets have been blasted by American fighter jets, retaliation for the downing of a U.S. Army Apache helicopter by an Iranian drone earlier this week. President Trump says Iran is taking too long to negotiate a deal, adding that now they will have to pay the price. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow futures are down 433 points, loss of almost 1%. The Nasdaq futures off 438 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
A dozen people have been killed in a Johannesburg suburb. Correspondent Charles De Ledesma.
Bodies are removed from a district of Johannesburg after multiple attackers killed 12 people and wounded at least 9 in a late-night mass shooting. the latest in such violence to have shaken the South African city. Police say they believe more than 10 suspects were driven in a minibus to an informal settlement in the Cleveland suburb and then opened fire. The shootings are sometimes linked to illegal mining gangs that operate in and around the city. Police are searching for the attackers, but no arrests have been made so far. They say Cleveland is connected to mining activity. South Africa has seen several high-profile mass shootings recently, including 2 in December that killed more than 20 people. One of the attacks had also involved multiple shooters. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Find more news and analysis at townhall.com. Attorneys argue for the release of a mosque leader claiming his health is in jeopardy while he is in ICE custody.
Lawyers for the president of Wisconsin's largest mosque say he's being denied basic care for his type 2 diabetes and has lost 30 pounds since he was taken into custody 2 months ago by ICE. Salah Sarsour is a Palestinian-born legal permanent U.S. resident. His attorneys say he's being detained on baseless claims of being a foreign policy threat. He has no criminal record in the U.S. They believe he was targeted for speaking out against Israel. DHS says Sarsour is in the U.S. illegally, and he'll remain in custody pending removal proceedings. They also say all people in ICE custody receive proper medical care. I'm Julie Walker.
Hollywood directors have reached a 4-year tentative contract agreement with studios and streaming services. The deal will have to be voted on by the rank and file before it takes effect. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Trouble concentrating or recalling information is frustrating, embarrassing, and kills productivity. Nutrition company Healthy Cell created Focus and Recall to boost your brain power. Unlike other supplements that don't work, Focus and Recall is not a pill. It's a gel you swallow with ultra absorption of science-backed ingredients to help you immediately sharpen focus, concentrate longer, and strengthen recall. Go to healthycell.com and use code Godzilla for 20% off your first order. Risk-free. Love it or your money back. Guaranteed. Healthycell.com. Code Godzilla.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free.
Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Ponder this. Have you ever been so hungry that not only is your stomach growling, but you become lightheaded and shaky? Your blood sugar has hit an all-time low. It seems that when this occurs, no amount of food can satisfy this type of hunger. When hunger reaches this level, your normally nice personality may become agitated, impatient, or even angry. You need food and you need it fast. Did you know that our souls need daily nourishment as well? A hungry soul might be inclined to give into temptations and commit sin without a care about its eternal destiny. When we let our souls grow hungry, we must feed them with prayers, recollection, and sacred scripture. Catholics in the state of grace have the additional benefit of access to feeding our souls with a heavenly food. Only in the Catholic Church Is Jesus truly present in every worthy reception of Holy Communion? He is the bread of life. His words, come and see. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Later on, at summer's close, the crack of bats where heroes rose. We cheered at games beneath the sky, remembering those who sacrificed. Oh, liberty, land of the brave and true, blessed by God in all we do, from golden shores to mountains grand. The greatest blessing in this land, we raise our voices clear and bold, a story that will not grow old.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's The John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who plays to win the game, John Fredericks.
Great to have you on the John Fredericks Media Network. I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America, your Oracle of the Deplorables. Joining me now, Morgan Griffith. Hey, you know the best thing about Congressman Morgan Griffith? He's live. We got him on video. He's cool. This is like the coolest congressman I'm telling you, this guy's so cool. He's the coolest congressman in the House of Representatives. Everybody knows it. And he's so cool that he's headlining our victory party on June 16th. Now, you're probably saying, you know, I have listened and watched Morgan Griffith come on your show for 15 years, Southwest Virginia, but I've never really met the guy. I've never met him, and he's really cool. So you're probably saying to yourself, is it true that if I come to your victory party on June 16th at the City Tavern where George Washington had beers, if I come there, I'm going to really meet Morgan Griffith in the flesh live? Answer, yes. June 16th, baby. It's all you got to do is go to MakeDCGreat.com, MakeDCGreat.com. Tickets are $50. Plenty of food. Food, as always. If Ann's running the thing, you're always going to eat well. Great food, open bar, going to have so much fun. And headline speaker Morgan Griffith, who'll be joined by Treasurer of the United States, Brandon Beach. I just saw him in the elevator last night, my neighbor. And also the one and only Corey Lewandowski. He says, I wouldn't miss a Morgan Griffith event. If I don't care where I have to come from, I'm going. So you were the hook for me to get Corey there. So it's all good, Morgan. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be with you.
So Morgan, you guys, we got finally funding passed for ICE and for the other things that we need for border security. So we got the same thing passed that should have been passed 6 months ago.
Yes.
What exactly did the Democrats accomplish here?
They got to talk a lot about issues that they wanted to talk about. I mean, that's about it. I mean, they kept bringing up issues and changing their mind. And we thought we had a deal with the Senate. They took it out. I think it set a bad precedent to take out parts of an appropriations bill and hold it hostage. But that's what happened. And each time they had something new to bring up, they'd bring it up, and we'd have to fight through it again. And it took that long for the Senate to get it to us, and then took us a couple of days to get it off the floor of the House.
Okay, so now it's going to the president's desk because that's finally behind us. A very messy process, but you guys got it done. Very inspiring. Now, I want to get to internal politics. You've are losing a couple of key members of the Freedom Caucus. Chip Roy, no longer in Congress, he didn't win his attorney general seat in Texas. Ralph Norman didn't get in the gubernatorial runoff. He's gone. So you've lost some of your key members. How does that affect the Freedom Caucus?
Well, there's certainly two critical members, and it's always a loss. We've had losses before when people left. I will tell you, we're also going to lose Andy Biggs, a former chairman, who's
That's right.
been a great member. He's hopefully going to win in Arizona, but we will, we will replace. There will be other people coming in. Looks really good for the folks who have indicated that they would be willing to join the Freedom Caucus in their various primaries around the country. So I feel good that we'll still have some people. Jim Jordan, one of the founders, myself, Andy Harris, we'll all be back. And you've got a number of people. So, it's like any organization. There's going to be some turnover. This year's maybe a little bit harder than some others, but the Freedom Caucus will continue with its efforts to move the entire Republican caucus a little bit to the right and to work for conservative values. So I think it'll continue to be a very viable organization. But those are losses. I can't tell you that some of the members that we're losing this year aren't losses. And one who doesn't get a lot of attention, Tom Tiffany, great guy, and he's another one that's lost. He doesn't. Like me, he's not always out on TV and getting the press, but he's in there solidly working for the people.
Well, he's also got a shot at, he's likely to be the gubernatorial nominee in Wisconsin whenever that primary is. I kind of lost track of it, but he actually has a shot to win there, so he could be the next governor. Great guy, by the way, absolutely super guy. Morgan, tell us about some of the critical things you're working on right now within your subcommittee. I know we talked about it a little last week. Give us an update.
Well, we're doing a lot of things. We're continuing to work on healthcare issues and looking at ways that we can make it better. It's not always about throwing money at things. The left always wants to throw money, but we can do some policy changes. I'm working hard to try to streamline FDA efforts on rare diseases. You have people come into your office and there's this rare disease, and we are so close, John. It's so exciting. So close on so many diseases that we've never had a treatment for, much less a cure, that we now, because of genetic research and new ways of doing things and the speed that we're doing things in, we're on the cusp of having treatments for things like ALS. ALS, we had a witness who said, and I agree with him based on what I'm seeing, ALS is no longer a death sentence. It's a terrible disease. It will still be a terrible disease, but the man who said that he believes that he will live with ALS has had it for 8 years now, and the technology gets better every day. Huntington's disease, we're close to some treatments there. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And as health chair, every day somebody's coming into my office in DC saying, hey, we're this close. So we've got to streamline a few things at the FDA because it's hard to do the double-blind studies that they like to do when you only have, a few hundred people who have the disease, and they're spread out all over the country. Not everybody can get to the NIH or to one of the big medical centers. And so we're trying to figure out if we can't create a way that we have, and I'm working with Democrats on this. Auchincloss is doing some great work and trying to figure out how we can do clinical trials by telemedicine using, so people can stay in Lee County, Virginia, and still participate in a clinical trial on some rare disease. That's good news. That's exciting news. I will also tell you, I'm going to switch gears from healthcare to some other things, working on some energy issues, trying to make the ability to license nuclear plants a little smoother. We've got a couple of glitches in there that witnesses told us yesterday. 20 years they've been working on it, and I have a bill that will solve that. And then this week, getting off the floor, and we're hoping the Senate will pass it this week, maybe next, is a bill to take the Librarian of Congress back to the library, back to Congress. In the 19th century, and you know I love this history stuff, but in the 19th century they made a deal. My speculation is they made the deal because of time, distance, and for travel and for communications, and they gave that over to the executive branch. As a part of that, underneath the Library of Congress is the register, and that's the correct pronunciation of that word. It's not the registrar, it's the register of copyrights. So what we've done is we've rearranged it. We've got the Librarian of Congress now working for Congress, but the register is of copyrights is truly an executive branch function. So the president gets that nomination. And we're also working on the publishing office, but we're trying to get things right in line with the Constitution. Has nothing to do with who's in the White House. It has to do with we're in the 21st century. We don't need 19th century solutions to a problem. And we should look at the Constitution that says, and to the obvious, the librarian of Congress ought to answer to Congress.
Well, that makes sense, right? Just common sense stuff where you're getting things back in alignment. Where are we with Iran funding now in the House? I know you've had a couple of defections. You can't afford many. How does that look now?
Well, they used the War Powers Act last week and said the president's got to stop. We'll see where we go. Obviously, we have troops under attack. There are other ways that funding can be used. So we'll have to go forward, and the president's going to have to go forward. But Congress has indicated they want to be involved in a big way on the funding. So we'll have to see. Right now, we don't have the votes. Now, I think the president can make a case for it, but he's got to come to Congress and make the case.
What is the latest you've heard now on the Iranian peace negotiations with this? They shot down a helicopter. Very fortunate. Our pilots are fine. Then we retaliated. Now they've retaliated. What have you heard? Where are we in this?
Well, and I don't sit on the right committees to get the up to minute. So I'm getting pretty much what you're getting on the press reports. I'm hopeful, and the president has done this before. And so I think that he will go back there. I'm hopeful that we can get back to the table and get the ceasefire back in place. But, if there's going to be a ceasefire, there's got to be a ceasefire. And the Iranians, and this just goes to prove what we've been saying all along, but a lot of times people would criticize it. The Iranians are upset because Israel is going after one of their surrogates in Hezbollah. And, oftentimes people would say, oh, that's different. That's a different issue. That's a different issue. Well, the Iranians said it's not a different issue. So the president has asked the Israelis to back off a little bit. They haven't. And then all of a sudden the Iranians take it out on us. And then now we're in this tit for tat. Hopefully we can get back to the ceasefire and see if we can't work this thing out on the enriched uranium. That's the big issue in my mind.
Where are we in the SAVE Act in getting that or parts of that in the next reconciliation in the Senate? Morgan Griffith.
That's a great question. I don't understand how the Senate doesn't just pass that. The American people want voter ID. They want Americans voting in federal elections as opposed to anybody else. New York City wants to have folks voting in the New York City elections who are not citizens of the United States. That's their business. Fine. Elect whatever you want to be your mayor or your city council. But when you start talking about the federal elections and you have the same voter registration rolls, I mean, we see it time and time again. And a lot of times it is, in fairness to the folks who are registering, they're given this stuff when they go to get a driver's license or they're sent something in the mail. They fill it out. They don't really have that good a command maybe of the English language. And the next thing you know, they think they're supposed to vote. And so we've got to make it clear only U.S. citizens should be voting in U.S. federal elections. Local elections, that's up to the locality. State elections, that's up to the state.
Think about what you just said.
Yeah.
Only U.S. citizens should be voting in U.S. elections.
Yeah.
I mean, excuse me? Like, you're kidding me. And we're like arguing over this?
Apparently. I mean, the Senate doesn't seem to understand that's what SAVE is about. If they want to tweak something somewhere, I'd say maybe, depending on what they tweaked. But people want U.S. citizens voting in U.S. federal elections and show an ID. I mean, it's just not that it's not what we're asking for is not crazy. It's
insane.
common sense stuff, and we can't get it through the Senate. House passed it, Senate hasn't.
Well, and we can't even get it on the floor. We can't even get it for a vote. We can't even get it in reconciliation. They can't even get pieces out of it. The inertia in the Senate for doing nothing is it. Look, we talk about it every week. You just can't get away from it. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network, trucking the truth across America. We're with Congressman Virginia 9th District Republican Morgan Griffith. He's also the subcommittee chair within the Energy and Commerce Department on health. And Congressman, let's get to this FISA bill. Where are we with that now?
FISA is a problem. We don't have a resolution. Now the Senate has gotten upset over a Trump interim appointee. But the bottom line is that there are a number of us that think that a warrant is appropriate. Now, this is not the whole FISA bill, and we've had a number of reforms there. But I don't understand why we can't say that if you're suddenly investigating U.S. citizens, that there needs to be a warrant. Now, there was a compromise that I was okay with that was floating around at one point. That was that if you get any information on a U.S. Citizen or a U.S. person, the Democrats like that word better because it includes green card holders. Okay, but if you get information then that you've gotten without a warrant, then you can't use it in a criminal trial. That's actually a Supreme Court decision years ago that if you obtain information unlawfully without a warrant, you can't use the information. So that seemed to me to be a reasonable compromise because then the people who don't want a warrant could say they didn't have a warrant. And those of us that think a warrant's the right thing get the same result as if you don't have the warrant, you don't get to use the info in a criminal trial. You can use it to stop a terrorist, and that's what they always say this is about. Fine. I want to stop the terrorists too. But if you're going to come after U.S. citizens, you need a warrant. And this dates back, again, showing my love of history. This dates back to the Otis trial, which John Adams was a witness to the trial. And when he said something along those lines, I'm going to paraphrase, the seeds of a revolution or seeds of a rebellion had just been sown because the English wanted to go in and look at all the records of Mr. Otis, who was a warehouseman. They were looking for smuggling of various goods, whiskeys or rum, etc. And he said no, and they charged him. And the English law at the time said that was okay. And that started this whole movement. And that's part of the reason. There's also the Wilkesite Rebellion, but I won't bore your listeners with that. That was 1768 London. But that's what started the movement towards making sure that you have a warrant that you can say probable cause, not just we're going to search every warehouse. And that's what they wanted to do. Search every warehouse in Boston, looking at the records to determine where, perhaps some stolen goods were stored. No, you think Mr. Otis is doing something wrong? Get probable cause.
Right, and that's what. Look, I agree with you on this 100%. I've always been opposed, just like you, to these just blanket FISAs where you get whatever they want. They're all without a warrant. They all get abused. We saw it in 2020. They all get abused, and so you give people unlimited power. And we had Rod Rothenstein, signing phony documents, giving it to secret FISA judges. The whole thing was a mess. So I think you guys have done the right thing. Transportation bill, where are we on that?
Well, let me say on FISA, there may be, because of the World Cup going on, there may be yet another extension that goes for a period of time to make sure that we go forward. Transportation bill is out of committee. We'll see if it gets to the floor and how that works out. I do have some concerns. There is and I get it, and we've got to figure out a solution. There is a tax on cars. So there's a car tax, which that we've been fighting in Virginia for now decades. Got it rolled back considerably during the Gilmore administration, and I was in the Virginia House at that time. But so I have concerns about that. But there's a car tax, but it's only on vehicles that are EVs or hybrids. The problem is, once the federal government starts going down that path, it won't be but a few years before they say, well, you know what? Griffith's driving a car that's not a hybrid. It's not an EV, but it gets 30 miles to the gallon. So we're going to put the car tax on him too. And I hate to see us go down that road. Now, we've got to figure out a way. And so the American people are going to have to figure out which of these things they don't like the least. Tolls, a mileage fee that would be administered every year on your, inspection or whatever, or some kind of a car tax. I personally dislike the car tax the most. And I think as long as there's an alternative route available, I think tolls actually make some sense, particularly today as you don't have the toll booths every 5 miles that you do the electronic tolling. But none of these are very popular with the public. But if we want to have federal highways, we got to pay for them somehow. And because the electric vehicles don't pay the fuel tax, which is included on your gasoline price, they're riding the roads without having to pay anything. And the people like me who drive a gas car, not a guzzler, but a gas-driven vehicle, are having to pay all of that. Well, what happens is that there's less and less money each year to maintain our highways.
Are you in favor of suspending the federal gas tax until we resolve the Iran war?
I would be in favor of doing it for a period of time. I always hate to say until we resolve. I mean, as you know, we passed a authorization of the use of military force back in 01 and 02 that's still active. So I hate to say until something else happens, because then maybe you just keep a little fire going, even if it's just one little piece of it. Say, well, we've still got a piece going here.
You'd be in favor of like 90 days, 120 days, something of that.
Yeah. You put it in for 90 days, 120 days. I think we could do it, but then we have to figure out how we're going to maintain those highways. So people need to be ready for that.
Are we going to put the AM radio in every car bill in the transportation bill?
I certainly hope so. I haven't read the bill yet because it hasn't come to the floor, but hopefully that it'll be in there, or it'll be an amendment that we can put in there.
It's taken a long time.
It is. And to me, it makes sense. The car manufacturers and some good conservatives say the government shouldn't be mandating this, but I think it is a safety issue. I happen to love my AM radio, but that said, it's also a safety issue. When there's a flood or a disaster going on and you want to know what's happening, you look at the big territory that I represent, larger than 9 states by landmass, and there are some FM stations that cover one end of the district or the other, but very rarely can you get something that there's a flood going on in Buchanan County on your FM station. You can get it on your AM station.
Yes, those same conservatives that are opposed to this on ideological grounds, if they're also opposed to the federal government mandating seat belts in car seats. I don't think they are. So you know what? It's a nonsensical, vacuous argument funded by General Motors and Ford Motor Company, giving money to those people. If you check their coffers, it's there. Look, we're not dumb, okay? Don't be telling me about mandating. I don't want the government involved. You know what? Government said, if you have a baby in the car, you have to have a car seat, or you're going to get arrested. And everybody said, yeah, that makes sense. So we don't have babies crashing through windows. Makes sense. Unbelievable. Morgan, thanks for being with us. People want to follow him. Griffith.house.gov. Griffith.house.gov.
And I'll see you on the 16th, if not before.
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, as always, for being with us. Governor Patrick Morrisey, West Virginia. He's next.
And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C., making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of D.C. GOP Ward 2 to make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
You got him. Waiting for Governor Patrick Morrisey, West Virginia, should be coming on any moment right now. Let me know if he's on. Oh, we have the governor on. Okay, great. This segment brought to you by our great friends in West Virginia, Hope Gas. Want to give Hope Gas a shout out. West Virginia is for hope. Find out why it's time for West Virginia to shine again. Governor Morrisey making it happen. He's got so many energy programs in place right now. WV is for hope.com. Go to WV is for hope.com. HopeGas.com.
dedicated to serving their customers in West Virginia. Now, you can learn more about their history and how they provide great service and see how Hope Gas is improving the lives of so many in the communities they serve. Now, we own 9 radio signals in West Virginia, Morgantown South, every one of them served by Hope Gas. Their service for us has been absolutely phenomenal. Now, Hope Gas proudly provides safe and reliable natural gas service to approximately 180,000 homes and businesses throughout the Mountain State, including ours. They proudly serve West Virginia. They love the Mountaineers. They're a sponsor of West Virginia University Athletics. We got our Coliseum named after them, Hope Coliseum. That's why we love Hope Gas. For more information on how Hope Gas can help you, go to hopegas.com. That's hopegas.com. Joining us now, the man of the hour, West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey. Governor, great to have you back, sir.
Hey, John, it's good to be with you. And like you have those 9 signals, when are you going to add a few more?
I know. Well, I tell you what, we talked about that. Right now, we're going to Omaha. West Virginia Mountaineers, they're going to win this whole thing. They are America's team. We are fired up. It has given so much attention to the state of West Virginia, which dovetails in the governor of what your vision is, to be the energy state, to be the energy center, basically, of the continent is what your vision is. And you've got the water, you've got the natural gas, you've got the coal, all the infrastructure is set, and you guys are moving ahead at a frenetic pace. Elaborate on that for us, Governor.
Well, absolutely. Well, first I want to say that let's go Mountaineers, because we're all excited in West Virginia about the trip to Omaha. And WVU is playing incredible ball. They've got their hitting is very, very hot. Obviously, you saw what they did to Cal Poly in the Super Regionals and how they were the cardiac kids against Kentucky in the regionals. And this is an incredible moment for West Virginia and just shows how people around the state rally for their college sports. We don't have a pro sports team here in West Virginia. So this is a big moment. I'm excited. I'm going to be heading out there, and I think they can win it all. This is a well-coached team. They've been coached well for a long time. They've built the program from scratch. So I'm thrilled about that. And I know you're a big baseball fan, John. We're going to talk about it. But part of the reason this run is so good as well is it does allow us to tell the story about what's going on in West Virginia. And this is a good story because West Virginia is investing in the fundamentals. Our 50 by 50 energy plan, trying to get from 15.9 gigawatts of energy to 50 gigawatts by 2050. We're going to be ahead of pace on that. That's really big for jobs and for revenue for the state, and allows us to cut taxes for people across the board. We know that we're investing in policies for speed to build. So if you can come and build a manufacturing plant faster here, a technology center faster here, and the red tape is cut at a faster rate here than other places, that's worth a lot of money. And that causes people to come to migrate to our state. And that's the name of the game. Why should you move to West Virginia? Well, because we're going to be more competitive on taxes, on cutting red tape, on investing in our education, our fundamentals. And, you know, the people are incredible, and you cannot beat the views here in West Virginia. We are the most beautiful state in America. And now we're building on economic strength. So you can tell your family, you can tell your kids, there's a real place for you right here in our state when you're ready for us.
You know, talking about the beauty of the state, I'll get to economics in a minute. Ann and I we stay when we go there all last weekend. We had our WVU Sports Nation, the bus there parked right out front of the stadium. I'm sure you saw it. We stay at the Marriott courtyard right across from the stadium, and the Cal Poly team was there, and all their parents and donors. And they're from St. Louis Obispo, which is a beautiful segment of California right on the coast. And the parents were telling us, we were having a few drinks with them at the bar, and they were saying, you know, we thought we lived in the most beautiful enclave in the United States until we got here. And I said, well, you know, you're not here during the snow and the winter, the ice storm, but, you know, it's all good. But
we should market that, right? Because there's a reason why people want to come to West Virginia, and we have that. And this is a chance to talk a lot about that and just to see the way that the people of West Virginia are rallying around this baseball team. That means a tremendous amount as well, because I think people know in West Virginia, when you live here in the state, it's one big family, and you're only one or two level removed from virtually everyone in the state. I think that's a great thing, and that makes it a superior environment to so many parts of the country.
Governor Patrick Morrisey with us, Governor West Virginia. Where are you on data centers? I know we have a debate within the state legislature. You've got a couple of advocates that think we should be the data center. We mean West Virginia, take it as home, even though I'm in D.C. When they talk about we should be the data center hub for the country, we have the water, we have the energy. What is your view on that, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think a lot of people may not even realize that right now, if you're using your phone, if you're using your apps, you're using data centers. And the question is not whether there are going to be data centers that are going to be built. It's a question of where they're going to be built. And right now, there's a real fight for information technology superiority between the US and China. And China is trying to power up their AI and power up the data centers as fast as humanly possible. They're building one coal-fired power plant after another. And the US has to keep pace very, very aggressively, because we know that we have a chance to do it right. You know, a lot of times people talk and say, well, why are you fine with data centers coming in? I'm only fine if they're done the right way. And the good news is I'll use everything in my power to do it the right way, to make sure that it's not impairing the water, to make sure that there's not the noise pollution, to make sure that the setbacks are done right. This is going to be different than any place in America. It's going to be positive. And I think that if we do this correctly, this also leads to an economic boom, because the way this is structured, when these centers come in, about 50% of the revenue gets fed back in to a fund to eliminate the state income tax. Counties are doing exceptionally well. There's a fund for water development. A lot of people are talking about the need for clean water, which is correct. Well, we have to have funding sources for that. This provides that to us. This has a lot of great opportunity and possibility. But let's just say it must be done the right way. I'm going to do everything in my power to do it the right way. And then that helps lift our state out of poverty and lifts up our standard of living. And we need that badly.
So just to be clear, we're with Governor Patrick Morrisey, West Virginia. Just to be clear, Governor, a lot of other states and their residents are really pushing back against data centers, not in my backyard, if you will. But it seems like today you and some of your allies in the State House are taking the opposite view. You want to be the data center capital of the world because you feel you've got the infrastructure to do it, but you want to do it the right way.
We have to do it the right way. What I want everyone to think about is, don't think about it the way you've seen it done badly. Sometimes in Virginia, sometimes in other states, it's brought so much opposition. This has to be done correctly. It's going to be done correctly. And what I'm asking for, because none have been built yet, right? So you have all these people that are reacting, and the plans are not even in place. The permits have not even been given. Let it develop so you can see. And I'd be the first to tell you, I'm going to fight alongside of you to make sure this is done and people are not going to be hurt. But we need those high-paying jobs. We need to make sure that we're reinvesting that revenue so that we're not 50th in the nation in terms of our economic standard. We have to grow. We have to invest in our education. But what I'm asking for is a little bit of time so people see this is going to be very, very different. And we also have to take this energy fight on to defeat China, because China wants to be the AI tech king. And that's why it's so important for West Virginia to step up with our energy resources.
I tell you what, that's a bold vision that you've got, I have to admit, because everybody else is going in the opposite direction. But I can see where you're going with this. I'm in favor of it too, because I think you've got the infrastructure and the environment. Not a lot of flat lands, but you certainly have the water. You've got the energy as you continue to grow that. Governor, the biggest concern that many of us have in West Virginia, and it is major, is the West Virginia brain drain migration
Yeah.
of people leaving the state, especially our young people. They don't see the opportunity there. They leave, they go to DC where I am, they go to Virginia, they go to Maryland, and then they go to Raleigh or the Triangle in North Carolina, but they're not staying, they're not raising families there. So we're not getting, we're losing our best. Got a lot of older people coming in as retirees, not a good tax base. So how do we, you as governor, I know that's keeping you up at night, it has to. How do you put in the policies and the marketing structure, because a lot of it is that, to reverse that trend, Governor?
Well, it's a great question, and it's what we're doing right now, which is focused on the fundamentals. A lot of people come in, they try to have big splashes, and all the press releases pound their chest, their hands on their chest, and say everything is great now. Look, we have to acknowledge where you are, and then we have to grow, and we are going to grow. If you look, John, from October of last year, we've announced about $13 billion worth of economic development, private sector investments. That's representing over 12,800 projected jobs. So the first thing I want to message is that West Virginia is going to be the hub for energy development and also the intersection between energy and technology. We have major opportunities in healthcare. It's a real great place to be. John, if you look at what R&I is doing, the Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute, and what some of the other institutions in our state are doing, this is going to be an area of growth here in West Virginia. If you care about the VOTEC or the construction area, we're going to be building for the next 10, 15, 20 years. We're going to need 15 to 20,000 new people in VOTEC. What does that mean? That means electricians, that means plumbers, that means sheet metal workers and contractors. These are jobs that are going to be paying exceptionally well. So I get to look kids in the eye and say, there's a really great job opportunity that's going to be available for you, not just now, but for the next 20 to 25 years. That's what helps make them stay. It also helps increase net migration here in the state because we're working to make the improvements on education, growing educational attainment. Some of the work that we're doing from K through 5 is making a real difference right now. Our school choice program is really one of the most dynamic in the country. And we're cutting red tape at a level that no other state is. This is an incredible thing that we're doing. And so when people start to realize it, that starts to let more people stay here and let more people migrate back into the state. It's a wonderful circle. And that's why I'm pushing it because it's going to lead to so much opportunity for West Virginia.
What is your what's your vision for investment into technical and
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Vision for what?
Vocational and technical schools in West Virginia to take advantage of the trade jobs that you just mentioned.
Yeah. You know, what we've been doing is we're investing in higher education, both the 4-year institutions, but also the 2-year colleges as well. So we're training a lot of people in the fields that matter. So let's say if you're in the energy field and the gas arena, we want to make sure that you're being trained and you're learning the skill sets that you have jobs into the future. And let me give you a specific example. So last year, probably near this time, we were able to sit down with one of the gas companies, Diversified, on a well plugging exercise. What that meant is that we were plugging the wells so that they're not uncapped, which is an environmental problem. And we reached an agreement with them. So Diversified was going to put in another 50 to 100 jobs. I think we're probably looking at about 75 jobs. They're paying probably close to $100,000 a year. And these are jobs that are probably going to be going on for decades. And it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. And you start doing this for a while, people can look and say, that's a job that's going to last. And it's going to be in place even as you start to see AI and everything come in. You want to invest in things that are going to be AI proof, if you will, so that we're actually moving in the right direction. And we don't just have short-lived booms. We have a long-term record of financial success. So I get to do this every day and try to build in the areas that are going to be strong 3 to 5 years from now. I want to be different than all these guys that chose to just get the quick press release. We must build a sustainable economy for the next 5 to 10 years. And that means cutting that red tape and being better and faster than the states around us. And VOTEC's central to it because those are going to be some of the best paying jobs around. They'll be paying more than some of the lawyer jobs and some of the other positions out there. And they're investing in people who want to be skilled with their hands. They're investing in people that want to work hard and who have purpose in their life. And that's why we've put resources into the technical colleges. That's why we're doubling down to make sure our people are trained, and we're recruiting, we're retaining, we're retraining, and we'll keep doing it again and again.
Governor, I only got one more thing because we're running out of time. 18 months in, how would you define your relationship with Senate and House Republican leadership?
You know, look, I think we've been able to accomplish a great deal. So a lot of these talking heads have not looked at the level of production that we've had, and it's been very, very positive. If you think about it, the 50 by 50 energy plan is leading to massive amounts of investment in the private sector, the opportunity to really be at the forefront of energy and technology, the ability to cut red tape. We've been able to pass legislation in each of these areas, but also have success. So we can see that the growth is really going to begin. A lot of ground is going to get broken later this year and next year. So this is very, very exciting. And so that level of economic development that we've never seen as a state before, period. Now, they talked a lot, but this level of success, the close to $13 billion, hasn't happened. That's the product of working closely with the House and the Senate. Now, look, it's no surprise that we had some differences with some key members of the legislature. We had a House Finance Chairman who was not really interested in moving the state forward. So we were able to work with some people, and now he's not coming back next year. That's the democratic process. And I think it's important that we get people here who are going to work for the betterment of our state. That's what I'm working to do. And we have really strong ties with the Senate. We have ties with a lot of great people in the House. And I'm hopeful it's going to get better and better and better, especially as people get focused on we must save our state and our country. And we have so much opportunity. Let's not squander it with petty politics.
In the famous words of former Jets coach Herman Edwards, you play to win the game. And if you're not with me, then retire and get out. And so you had one of your adversaries there retire. So it's all good, right? You got to move the ball forward.
It's all good, and the reality is that we try to work very well with people. We do work well with people, even with people that we disagree with. But there are some people that are not there for the right reasons, and those are not the people that the public wants to stay there. And we want to make sure we get a crop of people who want to work together to put the state first.
All right, Governor, my best to your wife, First Lady Denise. Always good to see her when I do. Ann and I are going to Omaha. When are we going to see you in Omaha for the finals?
You are going to see me. So I'll be out for the game against Troy. I'm anxious to see who they throw out there. What do you think? Are they going to put Max on the mound for day one?
Jason Cole. No. Look, as you know, my son plays for Maryland now. Maryland that finished next to last in the Big Ten. We didn't have a good season. Joe was hurt. He was out for the majority of the season, but we beat Troy 2 out of 3 in Troy and should have swept them. They're not really that good. I think he'll pitch Cole first game, save Max for the winner of the North Carolina Ole Miss game. Winner of that game is likely going to the finals.
Well, yeah, because if you can, first of all, you beat Troy, and then if you can survive the winner of Ole Miss and North Carolina, you're 2-0 going in. In this tournament, if you can get to 2 wins right off the gate, then that's a major advantage because then someone has to come and win 3 straight games. That's a tough order against the quality of these teams.
Yeah, you're in the driver's seat when you get in the winner's bracket. And but Ole Miss and North Carolina, very, very tough. Let's not even think about the other bracket right now. Let's just get there. Let's just get to that bracket. We'll worry about Georgia, Oklahoma, and Texas when that opportunity comes. But right now, probably the tougher the 2 teams. is the Tar Heels just because of the depth of their pitching, but Ole Miss hits. So
right.
Both of these teams are not they're not going to be easy. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to see you in Omaha, and I look forward to seeing you there. And Governor, thanks for all you do. Thanks for being such a huge fan of the Mountaineers. You're always there. You always come and talk to people, and I really respect that. Thank
John,
you.
Thank you. And you saw me at games before it was cool, before we
That's
were in
right.
the NCAA tournament, right?
That's
you
right.
can
I
attest
saw
to
you.
that.
I can attest to you, and you go down the aisle shaking hands with people, and we weren't that good. So thank you for doing that. Governor Patrick Morrisey, West Virginia. Patrick, people want to follow you. Where do they go?
You know, people could go to Twitter at, Morrisey WV. They can go online and they can go to our governor site, which you just type in and it'll pull up, or our official site. I think that's very positive as well. So just type it in and you'll see the website.
Big shout out to your new comms director, Lars. Great guy. Great follow-up. I think he'll be an asset to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Governor, thank you. And again, my best to Denise. Peach Crew next.
Oh, 7.7 Bon Air, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFB.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. Amit Thomason. Consumer prices soared last month. The latest government inflation report confirms it. Inflation hitting a 3-year high, according to the Department of Labor. Social media this morning, President Trump writing that Iran is taking too long to negotiate a deal, adding that now they will have to pay the price. The warning comes after U.S. air power blasted Iranian military assets.
The United States has launched strikes against Iranian targets after President Trump said Iran shot down an American Apache helicopter near the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command describes the operation as a self-defense response. President Trump says both pilots are safe. The strikes come as the White House weighs its next steps toward Iran, following what the president described earlier as progress in ongoing negotiations. Willie Nelson, the White House.
President Trump sending congratulations to GOP Senator Lindsey Graham on his primary win in South Carolina. In Maine, Democrat Graham Plattner will face GOP incumbent U.S. Senator Susan Collins in the general election. And California voters will be choosing between Republican Steve Hilton and Democrat Javier Becerra in the governor's race. Many young teens falling behind in a couple of the 3 R's.
The latest testing data released by the federal government shows that average scores in math and reading for 13-year-olds remain below pre-pandemic levels. Scores for 9-year-olds, who also were tested last year, have rebounded. Leslie Muldoon, executive director of the National Assessment Governing Board, says since the pandemic, schools and state policymakers have focused on overhauling instruction for elementary students. She says recent test scores show that educators should also focus more intensely on adolescents. Donna Warder, Washington.
Dow futures down 206 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Taking the kayaks out on the lake, hot dogs on the grill, and your sister's boyfriend pulling out his acoustic guitar.
Everyone quiet! Harrison's playing. Wow, you're so good, Harrison.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Facing a serious challenge from heavily armed rebel groups, Myanmar's ruling military junta has gone on the offensive.
Well, the rebels are taking far more defensive positions than offensive positions. One of the biggest rebel groups in the north of the country has said exactly that. It's switched to defensive operations. And what we're seeing across the country is a counter-offensive from Myanmar's military, and that counter-offensive is making progress. They've managed to take some strategic areas. They still don't control large parts of the country. Fewer than half of the country is under their control, but they're making gains. I couldn't quite say yet that the junta, Myanmar's military, are winning, but they've certainly stopped losing.
The BBC's Quentin Somerville. Today's series of long-range Ukrainian attacks hit targets deep inside Russia. This is part of Kiev's efforts to raise the cost of the war for the Kremlin by striking energy facilities and military targets. News and analysis, townhall.com. Bill Gates will testify in a congressional committee's Jeffrey Epstein investigation.
House Oversight Committee members are slated Wednesday to interview the billionaire Microsoft co-founder behind closed doors, as they've done with other witnesses. Transcripts are often released later. Republican Committee Chairman Congressman James Comer requested Gates testify after he appeared multiple times in a trove of documents released by the Justice Department as part of its Epstein investigation. The files read like a who's who of powerful men across tech, finance, politics, and other industries. Gates has denied any knowledge of Epstein's abuse of young girls. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
Large burning cross discovered at a Chicago park. Police say they are investigating how it wound up there and what the motive might have been. Video taken by a motorist shows a wooden cross engulfed in bright orange flames as it leans against a tree in Grant Park, its popular area near Lake Michigan. More on these stories, townhall.com.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging supplements clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Folks, this is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Solti. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many, many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Solti for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Solti. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on two huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who plays to win the game, John Fredericks.
Hey, it's great to have you with us. I'm John Fredericks, your Godzilla of the Truth in America, your Oracle of the Deplorables, coming to you live from your nation's capital, the safest, most beautiful city in America, coming up our 250th anniversary. As a country, Democrats don't want to celebrate. They said we're a horrible country. We leave a wretched existence, and we stole it from the indigenous peoples, and we're racist, and we suck, and we should be communist, and we should let everybody in so we can trash the place like it was when I first got here. But now it's clean as a hound's tooth, as they say. Fountains are going. It's a beautiful thing. You should come and visit us. We'd love to have you here in Washington, D.C. It's going to be a lot of fun. Beautiful. Since President Trump has cleaned it up, shows you what leadership can do. Well, it's Wednesday. That means we've got the Peach Crew coming up. As always, a segment brought to you by my good friend Glenn Storr. He says, look, I know you do a lot of my reads and stuff, but when am I getting on the Peach Crew? Like, when are you guys going to have me on there? Because I want to go on the Peach Crew. I said, well, you're in Texas. You don't really fit, but I tell you what I'll do. I'll let you sponsor this segment out of the goodness of my heart, because the Peach Crew loves Patriot Mobile. I got 3 phones. You say, no, you don't, John. 1, 2, 3. See, Obama said he had a phone and a pen. I took him seriously. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get 3 phones and 3 pens. All my phones powered by, guess what? Patriot Mobile, because they're great. Why? Because they get 2 for 1, BOGO, which means I got 2 carriers for the price of 1. I pick 2. I always got bars no matter where I go. Secondly, I get free activation with promo code Godzilla. I get my BOGO with promo code Godzilla. I get a good deal, $59. I get data, everything I want. It's beautiful. And they answer the phone. I tell you what. Plus, a portion of what you give them, what you pay, a portion of their profits goes to support Christian conservative causes. You give your money to AT&T, Verizon, Metro PCS, or Sprint, you have no idea where that money's going, who they're giving it to, what DEI things they're doing, what wokesters are there. You have no idea. Patriot Mobile, you know exactly where it goes. They stand for something. And it's our 250th birthday. So why not do Patriot Mobile? Give them a jingle, 972-PATRIOT. Somebody speaks English, was answer the phone, 972-PATRIOT, promo code Godzilla. Don't forget that. That's where you get the freebies, 972-PATRIOT. Plus you get VIP service, or you can let your fingers do the walking and talking and just go to patriotmobile.com, patriotmobile.com, promo code Godzilla. You can get your deals right there. Best phone service out there, patriotmobile.com. I swear by it. So I got 3 phones. That's how I run the company, right? Because I got things going. We're traveling, go to Omaha. That's right, College World Series. Hope things work out for you all guys in Atlanta. Plus, I got my election coming up on June 16th. We got primaries coming up in Georgia on June 16th. We're going to have quite the night. So let's get to it. Let's get right to the Peach Crew. And let's just introduce everybody, because I always forget who's on. And if you can get us up. Oh, there's Sally Grubbs. So we missed you last week, Sally.
John, I missed you too. And as you know, I sit on the Georgia State Election Board. So we had a 2-day meeting last week. And so there's some very interesting and crucial stuff I can update on that.
All right, we'll get right to you. Let's also get to everybody else that's on. Scary Jackie Harling is with us. She is the chairman, the Republican chairman of the 14th Congressional District. She knows Jim Tully because he ran there. Also with us is CJ Celeste James is with us. Holly Kessler is with us. Holly, you're all dressed up today.
You look so pretty.
You go to a party, or you do that for us?
Just for y'all.
Oh, you look very nice today. Okay, very good. So, Holly, GOP Republican strategist in Savannah. By the way, the Savannah congressional race, Jack Kingston's son, is he in a runoff or did he win outright?
No, he went outright.
Good for him. He's a good guy. Yeah. Big fan of the family. I know Jack for oh God, I don't know how many years. Both of we were younger, right? All the way back to the Georgia State House. And let's see who else is with us. Rob Atkerson. Rob is in a runoff with a never Trump or Rhino creep. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Hope I define him properly there, Rob. For the yeah, he's a creep. For the he's really creepy. For the a seat of the retiring Barry Loudermilk, Trump supporter. So let's not put a never Trumper in there. I think I got everybody, right? Is that everybody? All right, guys, good to have you with us. Big primary next week. Well, 6 days away. We're gonna it's the runoffs. We're gonna find out who wins. Sally, let's start with you, Vice Chair, Republican Party, Georgia. 2-day election integrity meeting, or wherever you were. Give us the panel an update.
So we have a very significant issue, John, that is actually going to court today. We have 3 candidates, current candidate and former candidate. We have Greg Dolezal, candidate for lieutenant governor, who, along with 2 other individuals, Kelly Gambrell, a Cobb County commissioner, and then Chris Mora, who was running in the 11th district with Rob. But they stepped up and filed a lawsuit over the Secretary of State having the election night reporting behind closed doors, away from the public. And we requested access from the state election board to provide oversight on the aggregation of votes from the counties, and we're denied. They don't want to let us in. They don't want to have public observation. According to Georgia law, the Secretary of State is to perform all these actions in public and to have public oversight, and they won't allow us in. So fortunately, I am very happy that these folks have stepped up to file this lawsuit, and there's a hearing this afternoon at 3:00 at the Fulton County Superior Court. And then we're hoping for the best. We need to have public observation and oversight of the process, and each party, and this also involves the Democrats. They need to have the right to have watchers there too. So we're fighting for that in Georgia, John.
Whatever happened to those that McCarthy was telling me about, the QR codes that are illegal or something? Whatever happened to that?
So the Georgia legislature is going to be going into session next week, the day after the primary runoff, because SB 189 was put into effect to say that the votes could not be tabulated using the QR code. And it's a very detailed explanation, but suffice it to say that they did not get it done when they were in session earlier this year. And so they're going to address that in session. And then according to the order that Governor Kemp put out, they're also...
Oh, we lost Sally.
I'll pick up there. They're also going to address redistricting, and then I think he added something on the gas tax, and I feel like there was something else. Jim, what am I missing there?
I think that's it. We haven't heard anything else, any additional information. Kind of top secret.
Yeah, then maybe that was that. Oh no, the property tax. He did just add in the property tax. He updated the proclamation, so they're going to try to address the property tax issues. All right, go ahead, Sally. I picked up where you left off or dropped off.
Thank you for pitch hitting there, Holly. I appreciate that. So anyway, there's lots of things on the table with the redistricting that they're going to address in the legislature. Now, I've heard rumors, John, that the governor is going to bypass that issue. We'll see what they actually address when they get into session, but definitely. I have heard that there are some in the legislature who are looking at presenting more legislation that involve machines. In Georgia, we need to get rid of the ballot marking devices. We need to get rid of the machines. We need to be voting on hand-marked paper ballots. And I am not going to shut up about that.
Who wants to weigh in? Jump in.
Hand-marked paper ballots.
We applaud that.
Yes, absolutely. We have to go to that. There is so much dark space surrounding machines and ballot marking devices and the entity called Dominion. I mean, just that name in itself says it rules over you. And Georgia has been the epicenter of election fraud. We clean up Georgia. We fix Georgia. We can even fix the criminal enterprise in California if we take care of Georgia. So I'm with Sally and everybody else on this panel, I'm sure. Hand-marked paper ballots handled by the voter is the way to go.
Jim Tully, I was on some news network panel the other day. It was yesterday, I believe, one of those taped to live things. And they were, disputing voter integrity. And I went back to these 30,000 ballots that are in the warehouse in Atlanta that I thought like the judge ruled that those were going to get unsealed. We were going to see if there were 30,000 envelopes. We were going to do a forensic audit. Whatever happened to that?
Fulton County is a monster, and they spend taxpayer dollars to protect that elections board and that county commission at unbelievable rates. They have something to hide. We all know they have something to hide, and eventually we'll get the big enough shovel and we'll find it. They know we're on their tails.
So, John, on that topic, the DOJ went in and they got supposedly the ballots and the election documents from 2020 for Fulton County. But now, even as a member of the state election board, we have requested copies of that from Fulton County. And, it's always crickets. There's always an obstruction. And remember, Fulton County had asked in court to actually destroy all that evidence. And the judge said no, that they couldn't do it. So, they want them, they don't want them. They want them, they don't want them. And they just don't want anybody else to have it. So it is a Mickey Mouse show. And I hate to say that because I actually like Mickey Mouse.
The DOJ has the material, but Fulton County's keeping them tied up in court. They're going lawsuit after lawsuit to try to stop the DOJ from actually continuing the investigation.
Just Rob Atkerson with us. He is in a runoff for Barry Loudermilk's congressional seat. He was his chief of staff, and Rob is in a runoff with a Rhino never Trumper. So I hope you win that. District 11 in Georgia, so you can continue the Barry Loudermilk tradition, Rob. But I don't understand, why does Fulton County keep suing not to just do a forensic audit of the other ballots? All they got to do is do an audit, prove they're real, and put this to bed. Why?
Because they're corrupt.
Why?
Because they're corrupt. They cheated. They can't just acquiesce to the fact that they cheated. They're never gonna go down and just, oh yeah, our bad. We inserted 300,000 ballots or however many ballots. I don't know the numbers, but they're never going to admit that. They can't.
28,000.
28. There you go. They can't just come out and say it. They're in court trying to keep the DOJ from exposing what happened. And I think we're going to get answers.
It's been 6 years. I mean, think about this, Holly. It's been 6 years since this was first exposed. I mean, I remember going to meetings in North Georgia where you are. I was at some rally and we were talking about this 6 years ago. And here we are 6 years later, and it's still not resolved, Holly.
We all just watched the exact same thing happen in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So that's fresh. And I was hoping that DOJ and the FBI would immediately descend on Los Angeles and get the fresh evidence that the exact same thing just happened to Spencer Pratt. So they're still doing it.
Well, one thing that we can all agree on is if Fulton County has done anything good to help us, they have exposed and helped us educate what the problems really are, because the cover up of their crime and them being so just so adamant about not wanting to do an audit, not wanting to release the ballots, not wanting to do whatever other request has come their way. That's a very, very big tell-all sign. So if anything good and positives come out of it, I think it's probably woke a lot of people up that weren't quite aware of how bad it really was.
Rob, tell us about your campaign. You have a week, the runoff, well, actually 6 days, runoff on Tuesday. Tell us about your campaign and how you win, Rob.
Well, it's funny. I was listening to your commercial break, and one of the guys says, facing a well-armed guerrilla group. I'm facing a well-funded anti-Trump guerrilla group in this campaign. I've been outspent almost probably at least 10 to 1. For a month now, he's been running negative ads. I'm the swamp, all this kind of stuff. And he's even gone back 30 years and trying to get in the gutter with things. But the polling that we got in this week shows that it's not been impactful. My favorables are high, unfavorables low. Here's a reverse of that. We're neck and neck, and with the undecided folks, that what we're facing is he has spent millions and millions of dollars to paint himself as this pro-Trump, I'm a MAGA guy, and to all those folks who don't get out, who only see what's when they're watching the Hallmark Channel or what's in their mailbox, they think he's a great guy. He's a surgeon. I mean, he's a doctor. You got to be able to trust your doctor. And somebody asked me yesterday, what's the difference between a brain surgeon and God? God doesn't think he's a brain surgeon. That's the deal. This guy he thinks he can buy this seat, and we're not going to let it happen. He's outspent us. But it doesn't matter. I ran Barry Loudermilk's first campaign. I know this is a grassroots district, and that's why I'm in the runoff with him. And now we're up on TV, and we have CPAC, we have Turning Point. All the great folks at our district are Turning Point, are knocking doors all the time. Tea Party Patriots came in this week, and they've got some stuff up helping us tell people about who he really is. And there's a lot of talk, folks trying to get the president to come in. So I'm kind of peeking down at my phone every once in a while in case that happens. If it's an unknown number, you guys are going to see me take the call right here on the podcast. But if he doesn't come in, we still have a route to win. The numbers are great, and we're just trying to raise what we need here to finish strong, and we're going to win.
Well, do me a favor in that I don't have your mobile number in that chat box right down there, which is private to us. If you put your mobile there, Dan will grab it for me, and we can talk. And maybe there's a way that we can help. We endorsed Pam Evitt before the president did, and then the president endorsed him. That's kind of we did the same thing with Paxton. Went down there, did a 2-week bus tour for Ken. Then the president endorsed him. So sometimes we can be the stalking horse. So put your number.
Nobody told me you were the key. I would have called you a month ago. I would have called you a month ago.
Well, you know what? It's they didn't tell you. Paxton knew. He got me down there. Pam Evitt knew, and big victory for Pam yesterday, coming in first and getting in the runoff. Pam is going to be the next governor of South Carolina. We tagged her. I tagged her, Joan of Arc of South Carolina. I love that lady. She's going to be awesome. And it's also the end of Nancy Mace, who I'm very good friends with. I love Nancy to death. Worked with her in the Trump campaign, but it's just too much. Pam is the one, so we'll see what happens there. But look, Rob, we got to get you over the line. So get me your number there, and we'll follow up.
I'll get one of these, Jim or Sally, to send it to me.
John, I already sent it to you. I already sent it to you by text.
Thank you,
All
Sally.
right, Jackie, what do you think of this race in Barry's district?
Well,
I know you're a little further up, but you're kind of dialed in here.
First of all, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Morning.
Good.
I'm not drinking a Moscow Mule. Just want everyone to know that. I'm drinking my water in a copper cup because it's healthy. Okay. Hi, Rob. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm good.
Good morning. So just a couple of things. Obviously, I'm the district chairman, so I'm not allowed to personally endorse in any primary race where there's more than one Republican. I honestly, personally feel that there should be exceptions for that when the person running as a Republican it is not one, but that's an argument for another day. I just want to point out a couple of facts, though. So there's nothing wrong with talking about facts. Um, your opposition, Mr. Cowan, Dr. Cowan, does not live in your district. He lives in my district. He lives in my district, and he really, really, really wants to be congressman. He's been trying for years and years and years. I don't know why I can't just stay, in his medical lane. But I also know that he has said some really awful things about my president. And really awful things. And you can think awful things and talk to your friends about them, but when you write them down and you put them out for the world to see, to ever have a copy of, it means you really, really feel it. And I just have a question for you, Rob. If you are elected congressman for the 11th district, a district you live in, will you ever encourage or force us to get anyone in your district or in the country to get a shot of any kind?
No. And I was talking to some folks that were from your 14th. I know Jim's over there, and you guys are familiar with this guy's past. His nickname in his previous races was Wuhan John, because this guy would actually show up at conservative rallies. He would, when he would go to meetings, he would have a cooler with shots in it, and he set up tables at the events. And during this race, he's been asked the question, and he's still embracing mandated vaccines. He still supports employer mandated vaccines to this day. And so, and he didn't just delete a few tweets. He deleted an entire account because it wasn't salvageable. That's how bad it was. We were
exactly.
He loved Liz Cheney. He called for impeachment. He went after. He told Jim Jordan, "Stop letting this pesky Constitution get in the way and get everybody jabbed." Basically, is what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but he told him, "Stop letting the Constitution get in the way." So
we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that in the 14th district. We don't want it in the 11th district. We don't want it in Georgia. We don't want people who are not capable of learning and who are so indoctrinated that they push something on other people, and they're so delusional that they think that's okay to do that, and they can't think themselves ever wrong. So I tell you, I can't endorse, but I can pray and I can make calls. And,
I love that attitude, Jackie. Let's get Celestine James involved. What do you think of this election in the 11th? Dr. Cohen doesn't live in the district. He's a never Trumper. Rob's been there forever. He knows the district. He's a MAGA conservative. What do you make of this whole thing, CJ?
I think we have. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Mm-hmm. I think it's clear that we have so many people who are pretending to be Trump loyalists in order to get into office. And unfortunately, we have so many people who are going from district to district thinking that they're going to get an easy win. But what they forget is that when you put things out on social media, it can come back to haunt you, as is the case here. If people take the time to really do their homework on this gentleman, Mr. Cowan, they will find that he is someone who is not honest. He lacks integrity. And the fact that you will try to ride the coattails of President Donald J. Trump is deeply egregious to a lot of people. And so, Mr. Atkerson, you have the backing of so many people in the 11th district. So many of the veterans thank you for your support throughout the years. And so, this is an interesting one to watch.
Thank you.
So, John, I live in the 11th district, and Barry has been my congressman for a long time. And I have always appreciated the fact that if I ever had a question, all I had to do was reach out to Rob, text him, call him, and he was incredibly responsive, much like Mr. Tully was when he was working with the congressman in the 14th district. And it's very, sometimes you get staff that you can't, reach out to, that you can't get answers from, and that kind of thing. But Rob has always been very accessible, very responsive. And like Jackie said, with the vaccine status of Dr. Cowan, and again, like her, I can't endorse, would not endorse, but I have to ask, Rob, what do you think the deal is with his? I mean, yes, he's a doctor, he's a neurosurgeon, but what do you think he's not an infectious disease doctor. What do you think the motivation is for him to be pushing the lack of medical freedom in pushing the vaccines and things like that? Do you think there's a more maybe questionable motive there?
Well, I think he's a Democrat. That's what I think. I mean, he refused to take any pro-life surveys. He refused to take Georgia gun owner surveys. I just don't think he's actually a conservative. A Republican, you can go there. We got some rhinos, but with the adherence to the vaccine, I think that's a medical community thing. Most of the money that he raised in this race, he's raised from medical community all over the country. Very, very little from in the district. I'm the one, I've been outraised, but I've raised district money in this race and enough to get what we had to do. But he's raising that. And by the way, he's got a big, huge AI kind of data firm dumping $700,000. One company dropping $700,000 into his campaign. So I don't know what exactly that's about. But with his adherence to the jab, it's just got to be, it's the mental infection of the ADA, of the American Medical Association, and all these associations that are listening to bad science. I mean, look at what Ron Johnson is exposing right now about all the, they covered it up. The government and these agencies absolutely covered up the damage that the vaccine was doing.
Facts.
And we know that now. So
why'd they do that?
Modi, I think it's money. I mean, look at the money they made off of this thing. Big Pharma is up there. They get a pass. They've got a legal pass to not be sued over this stuff, and a lot of people stood to gain a lot of money, to make a lot of money on it.
Sad but true.
Let's get to Jim Tully. Jim, you were the district coordinator for Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yay! Hope she has a nice wife. What's your political future now, Jim? I mean, you ran for Congress, didn't get in the runoff. Where does Jim Tully go from here?
Well, hey everybody. Thanks, John. I am no longer the GOP chairman in the 14th, so I can endorse and will endorse. The 14th knows who John Cowan is. We are doing everything in our power to make sure the 11th knows who John Cowan is, because rhino creeps are everywhere, and we want to make sure. What I'm doing currently is supporting Georgians to support America and reminding people that it is their civic duty, it's their responsibility to vote. Government, whether it's the city council to the president of the United States, is the responsibility of the public. And that's what I'm doing in a nutshell. I'm supporting Rob. I'm supporting Bert, Mike Collins, Greg Dolezal, Vernon Jones for Secretary of State, because we want election integrity to be in the forefront in Georgia. And I think Vernon Jones can make that happen. I think he will make that happen. So that's what I'm about.
Jackie, did we lose Holly? Holly, you there? No, we lost Holly until she gets back. Jackie, I know you can't endorse or anything, but just an assessment. What on earth happened to the Ricky Jackson juggernaut that was like sweeping Georgia? We thought he was going to get 50%. Now I can't talk to anybody that tells me he's going to win. What the hell went down there?
Well, I tell you what, a lot of money has been put into this race. But, money is important to get to the people, because we have so much, we're inundated with so much information every moment, every day. Georgians in my district are going to have to participate in 6, not 1, not 2, but 6 elections this year. And we're not taught anything about this in school. So it takes the money to get through all the haze that life is to tell you, hey, vote for me. I think Georgians care who their next governor is going to be on both sides. And I think, I've said in the past that I thought it was good that he entered the race. It definitely woke up a lot of people. And it definitely, we thought Bert was just going to coast. Woo! Just almost coast through the finish line, and that is not the case with the entry of Rick Jackson. So I tell you what, I'm eating my popcorn, and I just, yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. But I will also say that I encourage people I know it's exciting. We love this candidate. We hate this candidate. We've got to remember we've got to still love each other, because when the primary is over, we have to come together, and we don't
That's a
want to
great
be
message.
too
I mean,
awful
because
to
this
other
thing has been
Republicans.
these have been so ugly. I mean, you always worry about they've been so ugly and so bitter, and this is why this runoff system is really a bitch, because I mean it just gets more intensified. But is Holly back? No, Holly. Let's go to Tully here for a second. So, Jim, I mean, you got all these people hating on each other, but let's get to this Senate race, okay? I mean, I got the governor telling me that Dooley is going to win. They think Dooley is going to win this race. And I'm done betting against Governor Kemp. I've told you guys that. I bet baseball. I bet hockey. I bet the Carolina Hurricanes last night. Yay. But I am definitely done betting against Brian Kemp, period. I mean, the guy's unbelievable. And he's telling me Dooley is going to win. What is your assessment of this race, Tully?
Shock and all, shock and all, shock and all.
You ready?
Yes.
So Georgia, with Dominion machines, has zero confidence in Brian Kemp. We might be the number one state to do business in the country, but Georgians, grassroots connected Georgians, don't have faith in Brian Kemp. And we love people that live, work, and play in their districts. How about that, Rob? And we don't bring.
Wait a minute, Jim. Wait a minute. Kemp's approval rating amongst Republicans in Georgia is 79%. I mean, that's what the record 79 is. Almost 80% is unheard of.
Yeah.
Is his favorable rating against Republicans. It's over 50% statewide. So, I mean, what you're saying is not reflective in the.
Welcome to Georgia politics.
Our politics are like our weather.
We went to Tennessee to get a potential senator. That's what we did. We didn't. He did. And along with all the other missteps, pushing this guy after, if Holly were here, she'd tell you the research says that there's a dirty hallway that everybody's walking down on the Kemp side. We've got Mike Collins, who is Georgia born, Georgia raised. He's a blue collar guy. He has supported Georgia and this country over and over again. And guess what? He voted for the president in every presidential election. Dooley didn't. Sorry.
I just don't think that. I don't know. I thought it was going to hurt him. I was surprised he got in the runoff. He surged late. And so he surged late. I mean, Buddy Carter should have finished second. And Buddy Carter, I think, got 25%.
Yeah.
And he surged in the final weeks when Kemp put his machine behind him. So I don't think this thing. I'm not seeing it. I think Dooley's going to win. And you say Dooley didn't vote. I get that, and it's kind of annoying. And when I asked him about it on my show, it was like the answer didn't do anything for me. But Collins has got a lot of issues. He got a lot of problems here, and I don't know. I don't think Collins is going to get the votes in Metro, and I think Dooley squeaks out the win.
Oh, well, we got a week. This time next week, we'll know.
Shock and awe, Sally.
Well, John, here's one thing too, touching on something a minute ago, with endorsements and things like that. what we have really seen emerge in this election are the people that are, like your friends with Jim Bob on Facebook, and Jim Bob is pushing the candidate, pushing the candidate, pushing the candidate. And then we've come to find out those people are paid influencers, right? From
All of them.
campaigns.
They're all paid.
And it is so, because Susie down the street doesn't know that Jim Bob's being paid. She just thinks he's passionate about his candidate. And that has really become one of my pet peeves, is these people that don't disclose that. And they don't say, hey, they're throwing me some money here and there to be an influencer and endorser. I find that to be really very low class of people to do that. If I was not in a position where I could endorse and that kind of thing, I would be pushing my candidates just because I'm passionate about that candidate, not because somebody's paying me. And I think that has a lot of play in these Georgia races, particularly in this runoff, of these people that are getting paid and people don't know it. And then, I got another mailer, Rob, from your opposition, and it's the implication that they're a Trump supporter. I mean, there's this big image that's superimposed with President Trump. And it's like, I know, I mean, the fact is he does not support President Trump, did not support President Trump. But that tells you how much weight President Trump's endorsement does carry, because all these people clamor to be a Trump acolyte when they hate the guy. They don't want anything to do with him.
And it works on that audience, and our voters, the biggest block is 65 and up, or at least 55 and up, and that works with them. The inference is there. We've had a guy told me, he said, my wife got this mailer and she said, oh, look, Trump endorsed John Cowan, and he said, no, he didn't. But that's immediately what she thought. It works with the same folks that are kind of susceptible to scams and all these different things. It's very easy to convince them with imagery and words. The real trick is they put a picture of Trump and then they put a quote next to it. But it's actually a quote from the candidate. But people
let me jump in here.
Yeah, so it's very deceptive. But you're right, Sally. It shows the power of Donald Trump. And I can tell you from the polling,
everyone hear me?
He's over 75%.
Yes, we can hear you.
Listen,
CJ, go ahead.
I've had two people who are running for governor use my image in commercials without my permission. This latest one by Rick Jackson has caused me to have, people have threatened me and my family. I am not pleased. I have not endorsed anyone in this race and will not. But this particular election cycle is deeply vicious, and the name calling and the attacks against people, to where you come against employment and family. There's a problem here. And I would like someone in leadership to speak to it, because never again do I want to have to take my son somewhere to safety because someone is using my image to go ahead and make it seem as if I am endorsing you. The answer is no. People are losing their mind out here over the political nonsense that's happening right now. And I would like more people to speak to it, because I'm doggone tired. The Republican Party has been infiltrated by Democrats, and they're using their playbooks to come against the Republican Party to destroy it from the inside. And so many people are sitting quiet when we know that certain things are happening. Look at Vernon Jones, a man who has stood with the president, has shown himself to be worthy, loyal, but yet we have people in our very own party who are targeting him in order to destroy him, to stop him from getting the nomination to run as Secretary of State. When people see that there are things happening and you sit quiet, that means you come into agreement with it. I say no.
That's right.
In my opinion, Vernon Jones is worthy of an opportunity to run for Secretary of State. He has shown himself
All right, so the running ads
to
against
be
him. Okay,
highly qualified.
he's in a runoff. Look, I've endorsed Vernon Jones. I'm a supporter. I've been friends with him for 35 years. I was friends with him when he was DeKalb County CEO. I love Vernon Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But the other guy's trying to beat him in a campaign. He's got a right to do that. So, I mean, they're attacking Vernon Jones for a number of things, and, you know, they've got a right to do that, and he's raised the money to do it. So as long as it's not, you know, scandalous or there's allegations that are false, I mean, he's saying he doesn't have the experience or saying this or that. I mean, that's a campaign, CJ. And that's what people do. They're trying to win. Fleming's trying to win the race, and Jones is trying to win the race. Fleming just got more money in order
to win the race. We want to win the race, but how far is too far? How far?
Well, you know, as
look, that's
far
the
as
age-old question. You
as
know
far
what?
as
But I'll tell you this, Sally. I'll tell you this. If you had ranked choice voting and no runoff,
Shut up.
you wouldn't have any of this. You'd have your nominees. Nobody would be attacking anybody. You'd be attacking Ossoff. You'd be attacking Fanny Bottoms or whatever her name is. Bottoms.
Keisha Rock Bottoms.
Fanny, this one. Look, if you had ranked choice vote, and you know I'm right, so don't even start the argument. Because if you had ranked choice voting, none of this would be going on. None of what CJ said would be happening. You'd already have your nominees. You'd already be, and nobody would attack anybody because they need to get the second place votes. This is reality.
Well,
there's no way to audit it. There's no way to audit.
Oh, come on! You
voting.
audit it. You guys want hand ballots. You want hand counted ballots. You count the ballots. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. You count them. That's just you guys. That's the old arguments. Oh, you can't count them. It's fraud. It's not fraud, right? We got it here in D.C. I mean, you check the box.
Oh, and that's a model right there.
Well, you know
DC.
That was not your best argument.
No,
about
it probably wasn't. I take that back. But I am going to win my race for DC GOP chairman, although I don't have anybody's endorsement here. You guys kicked me all to the curb. That's okay. I still love you. But my election's on the 16th. You want to donate to my campaign, go to makedcgreat.com, makedcgreat.com. Big
what are you running for, John?
DC GOP Ward 2 chairman. So chairman of that, because they kicked me out of the party because I actually tried to get something done. And you can't do that here. You want to see my chairman, Patrick Mara, he wants to get 5% of the vote. If you get 5%, nobody bothers you. Nobody says anything. You go around with a badge. It says chairman. And then you go to the parties and you're invited to all the cocktail receptions. And you got chairman. You don't have to do anything because you're getting 5%. Nobody cares. You get a guy that comes in that does town hall meetings, engages people, sends out mailers, sends out texts, gets voters, calls them up, has meetings, has Congress people come in, ask questions, have events. Well, then you're a threat because he's doing something and I'm not. Therefore, you kick him out of the party, which is what they did to me. So now I'm going to win, and now they can't kick me out because I'm elected. So have a nice day. That's my view.
Yeah, John, I wish you all the best of luck with that for sure, because you like to shake things up. So I hope when they calculate, I hope when they calculate your race, they do it by ranked choice voting so that you win.
I'm going to win because I'm everybody's second choice. Why wouldn't I be your second choice? I'm first choice and second choice. So I'm going to win easy.
But, you know, let me go back to something about Vernon Jones. You know, at the election board meeting that we had this past week, Vernon had a little get together afterwards and had a roundtable discussion. And he signed a pledge about election integrity and what he would do on the election side. As you know, the Secretary of State in Georgia handles a lot of different things with business registrations and financial regulations and elections. And so Vernon did sign a tremendous pledge, an agreement, a promise to the people of Georgia of what he would do to facilitate free and fair elections in Georgia. And I think that was a huge step in doing that. And let's remind people, and I'm just talking historically, Vernon ran in the 10th district. And all the same things that they threw at Vernon when he ran in the 10th is what they're throwing against him now. And there are two very weak candidates on the Democrat side. One is Dana Barrett, former Fulton County Commission woman, and Judge Penny Brown. And so it's not like the Democrats have a stellar slate running for Secretary of State. But, Vernon, as you know, John, in 2020, he was there. There were not a lot of legislators who stood beside us, but Vernon did stand with us at the time. And he's been engaged with election integrity. So I don't quite understand why some people have this, fear and trepidation about Vernon, because I understand that there's these allegations, but my personal experience has been he's done what he said he was going to do. He's been compassionate. He's answered the phone. He's made the pledge and been willing to live up to the commitment. So, as far as, Tim Fleming, the opposition, Tim's a very nice man. He did chair the Blue Ribbon Committee on Elections, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it here. There was a lot of disappointment with the results of that. And now there's legislation that is probably going to be put forth from the House side on resolving this QR code issue that is going to get us into an extreme amount of money, over $150 million, for a new voting system in Georgia, with yet another lobbyist driven piece of legislation, another lobbyist driven amount of money that is not good for Georgia. And it's time that Georgia wake up and really look at what people are trying to do with their votes.
Well, they don't want Vernon Jones because they can't tell him what to do. I mean, it's as simple as that. You and I know it. Exactly. He's going to shake things up, and he's going to fix the voter rolls, and he's going to get voter integrity. That's what he's running on. And, the establishment, he is the last thing they want to deal with, which is why they're putting all the money behind Fleming. Okay, we got to give our final analysis here. We've only got about 6 minutes, I think, 5 minutes. So let's go to the Atkinson race. And I know Rob thinks he's going to win. Who's going to win the Atkinson-Cohen race? I'll start. Atkinson is going to win because people aren't dumb. They know he's been there. He's grassroots. He's done this before. Barry's people know him. I think he pulls out the victory, and I think his voters are much more motivated to come out and vote. So I think Atkinson wins. Tully?
I'm going to go with you, John. Rob Atkinson wins, hands down. He is the proponent of blue-collar America, white-collar families. He's going to take care of Main Street. He is not big healthcare and big pharma, and folks understand what that is. Rob's just like me and you. He's ready to hit the ground running. And if I were in the 11th, I'd have a check mark by his name.
Okay, let's get to Jackie.
I believe Rob is going to win. He doesn't need any on-the-job training. There's no learning curve. He has been in the trenches, and he can hit the ground running when he wins and get into helping Trump get this country where it needs to be. That is my vote. That is my prediction.
Sally?
I have a quick question, Rob, if I can ask real quick. Is there an explanation for why Cowan didn't run in the 14th and now he's running in the 11th? Do you have that answer?
Well, I mean, my thought was, first of all, because the 14th knows him, he was going to run. He was going to skip the special, and then whoever won the special election, he was going to do this $2 or $3 million thing that he's doing here against whoever ran. And then when Barry announced that he wasn't running, he said, well, I'll just pick it up and move over here. So he was already ready to go. He had the check cut. He was going to challenge Clay Fuller in the regular primary after Clay won the special. So why did he do it? Because he felt like it would be easier. He could jump over here in an empty seat where we all had low name ID and spend a few $1 million to buy the district.
He's been trounced
here
before.
He was afraid of Jim.
Yes. He was afraid of me.
Everybody's afraid of you. Okay, let's get to James, to CJ. Quickly, winner.
Yes, I think that Rob will win. I think that he will be good for the 11th district. He's familiar with the people there and can hit the ground running. So if I were in your district, I'd vote for you.
Okay, so we're all predicting the Atkinson win. We got 3 minutes. So in the words of my mantra for my handicapping site, Godzilla Wins, go to GodzillaWins.com. Less talk, more winners, okay? So we don't need a long analysis. Let's get to We got 3 races to go. So we got to go quickly, and we'll put Rob in here. Senate race, Collins, Dooley. Well, Rob, who wins?
One of those two.
Okay. Jim Tully.
I'm Mike Collins all the way.
Holly. No, there's
Holly's
no
not
Holly.
on.
Jackie, go.
Yeah, I don't want to ostracize half my people in the 14th district, so I'm going to pass on that one.
Sally.
I mean, just looking at the data and the momentum, John, I hear what you're saying, but just prediction wise, not endorsement wise,
Prediction.
I think it's going to be Mike Collins.
Let's talk more predictions. James, CJ, quickly.
Mike Collins.
Okay. John Fredericks, Derek Dooley wins. It's not even going to be close. He's going to win by 5. Shock and awe is coming, baby. Okay, let's get to the governor's race. Atkinson will pass on the governor's race as well. Let's get to Tully, who emerges as a nominee. Jones or Jackson?
Jones. Jones for the win. Touchdown.
Jackie.
I'm passing.
Sally.
Prediction wise, Jones.
CJ.
Burt Jones.
John Fredericks, Jackson. Why? Because all the people that didn't vote for Jones are voting for Jackson. That's this math. I do math. I have an advocate. That's what works. Okay.
Can I say real quick?
Yep,
folks can go to voterobackerson.com to help me finish this thing strong and beat this rhino. Thank you.
All right. Go to Ackerson. Say
once
that
again. Once I have the Frederick endorsement, it's over anyway. So we'll
I know, right?
Do it, John.
Yeah, I got to call them up. I got, nobody engaged me, right? You guys got a phone. It dials out. I got 3 phones. You can call any of these numbers except one when you can't call. The others, you're good to go. All right, guys, we got to go. And can Vernon Jones win quickly? Yes or no? Tully.
Yes.
CJ.
Yes.
Sally.
Yes.
Jackie.
Yes. Vernon can win.
Yes. Will he win? Doubtful. Can he win? Yes. Go Vernon. Hey, guys, thanks for being with us. That's it for the Peach Crew. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 a.m. bright and early. Michael Patrick Leahy